Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados live here on Think Critical YouTube for another fantastic geeky week. We got some great stuff to talk about and some fantastic people joining us. We've got back on the channel. People are starting to call you Grandpa Perch.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yes. I mean, what's wrong with you people? Yeah. So you fans in the chat, it's Grandpa Perch who never gets mad. That's my brand now on this show? God, fuck that.
So Dylan says that I'm the dementia-stricken uncle. Sully is clearly hippie uncle. Jim, which uncle are you?
Clinging to life uncle.
Yeah, who knows?
With the will.
Dead uncle. R.I.P.
Black Lantern uncle.
Yeah.
I like to think of Jim as the unemployed uncle that's like wearing his bathrobe and trying to fix he hasn't shaved and he's trying to fix a radio that isn't broken.
He's
Nothing under the bathroom.
That's right. You're like, oh, I didn't know anybody was in here.
Oh my goodness.
That's why we both go with the icon instead of the face.
Yes, exactly.
Sparrow's cool uncle that brings you all of his toys that he liked when he was a kid.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm Grandpa who doesn't get angry, and Sparrow is cool uncle who brings toys.
cool uncle who brings toys, but is angry.
in his white van.
Stupid.
Then Dylan is the snotty grandkid. You're like, you had to bring him? He's so rude to all the old folks here.
He doesn't use coasters on the coffee table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Won't eat the ribbon candy.
Imagine how it's going to be when he's old enough to drink.
You reach in my pocket, I got some more of those originals.
So Sparrow, I have seen that you were personally on the warpath over Masters of the Universe.
I'm not on the warpath. I'm just like it's getting glazed and it's fine. It's fine. It's entertaining. It's fun. When it's firing on all cylinders, it's firing on all cylinders, but there are some major problems. Most of them have to do with the fact that there's 6 writers on this thing. It could not be more evident because there's major plot holes. A lot of things don't make sense. A lot of moments don't land right. And there is a infusion of humor that is just, I think Dylan will agree with me, is absolutely too much.
Are people really glazing this though? I mean, at least the little bit I saw, people were calling it as a failure Friday night, that it wasn't going to make any money. Is it just the different pockets of commentary and fandom? We have some people glazing it, some people saying it's dead.
Well, it's nobody's glazing like the box office. Like everybody's kind of like, yeah, it's unfortunate this isn't going to it's not going to make its money back.
But it's amazing.
Get any more. But there's people on there that are just like, oh, 10 out of 10. It's amazing. It gave me everything I wanted. And I'm like, really? Did it really?
And then you're getting quote tweeted by Aaron Sparrow. He's like, listen, I'm putting your clown shoes on today, son.
Yeah, I'm like, let's can we just be realistic? Like, it's not the greatest thing ever. It's not the worst thing ever. Mm-hmm. It's pretty fun. It's entertaining. I recommend
first time
people
I had
see
people
it.
clapping in the theater in decades.
I don't know, in decades. I mean, it hasn't been a decade since Endgame.
Not since The Last Jedi.
I think the way people look at movies these days is very weird. It's very, very strange. Most movies are pretty average at best. Not great, not terrible. They're just kind of there. There's flaws. It's interesting, the commentary. I'll tell you, I took my daughters to the Mandalorian film. They both loved it. I thought it was a movie that was the first half. I'm watching that film. I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good. It's moving along. The second half, I'm like, oh, all the action went away. I guess we're doing that. It was 2 movies in one, but to watch the commentary around that, it was bizarre.
I recently watched The Running Man, and I thought the first half was pretty good, and then as soon as Michael Cera shows up, the movie goes to crap.
100% agree. Yeah,
it was so weird.
There's a lot of movies like that though. That now
there's like this really funny, absurdist satire that was going on, and then it just, I don't know what happened.
It's like there's 2 movies. This has happened a lot lately. You get suckered in by a first half of the movie that's moving along, and then it's like the writers are all out of plot, and so for the second half, it's like I don't know what we're gonna do, and it doesn't slowly slow down. It just immediately stops and derails.
Yeah. You probably get. I mean, there's probably studio notes in there. This He-Man movie had like 6 writers listed, and there was probably more. It's just those are the 6 that got credited. So it feels like something that was drafted and redrafted, and then probably had somebody go, "It needs to be funnier, so cram in more jokes." And and then they kind of hit that point. And so you get the things where there's just moments that like don't make sense if you think about them.
Mhm.
But if you just go along and you just have a good feeling, because visually it's beautiful, Eternia looks great, it's bright, it's colorful. There's a lot there to love. But for me, it just did not live up to kind of what I wanted. Which I wanted, if it would have come in as a solid 8, I'd have been like, yeah, right on. And for me, it was about a 6.
Was it better than the Dolph Lundgren?
Well, yeah. I mean, this had a
That's a
budget,
terrible movie.
and it was,
Dolph Lundgren was bad.
Yeah.
Dolph Lundgren has a cameo in this.
Yeah.
As well, he should.
Probably the dad or something like that.
No, it's a
dude in the gym.
Yeah, dude in the gym. But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Perch, what are the chances that Dylan grows a beard as bad as Michael Cera?
100%.
Oh yeah, patchy as shit.
No offense, Dylan, you're a great guy, but 100%.
It's not great.
The beard game is not quite there yet.
No.
You saw that movie, right? Is that not the worst beard you've ever seen?
It was bad, but that's like the point of that character also.
Yeah, that's right.
But he just kind of comes out of nowhere. They never even meet or anything. He's just like, yep, I'm helping you. And I'm going to blow up some dudes because my dad had a hot dog cart and they shut him down. Like, this is getting strange.
He looks like a hipster dude that would try to be talking you. He'd try to talk you down on the price on your old VCR at like a yard sale. And you're like, dude, it's 30 cents. Come on. And he's like, I'll give you 10. That's what he looks like in that movie.
That is your average Reddit commentator right there. It's Michael Cera with that beard. That's what they all look like.
Probably. So how was your comic book week, Perch? This was not my favorite new comic book week that we've had. I'm putting that out there.
I mean, I guess we do this at the end, but yeah, I think it wasn't. There was a lot of comics to ignore, but there wasn't like the breakout hit that you get. Like usually in 1 week, I've been enjoying Firestorm, so that's there. And this week there wasn't one of those. I'm looking at it now. It was Cyclops wrapped up. There wasn't anything terribly exciting this week. And
the only book that I thought was really well, there was 2 of them, I guess, but Book of L was kind of good. That series is getting better as it gets closer to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Dylan.
Even Jim, who has hated that book since day one, had to admit this week it was pretty good.
I like last issue and like this issue more. So yeah. Yep.
That little notebook at the end about Pyros was awesome.
I told Wes this was the whole thing about that. I said Dylan is going to go nuts. He's laughing because I said Dylan is going to be so excited about
that. Was great, dude.
It was
I love
unbelievable. That it should have been more in the story. There's so many things in that notebook. It was so insane.
Jim goes, "Are you reading the extra material at the end?" I said, "No, I'm not reading the prose." He goes, "You got to because Pyro that guy is so much cooler than he appears to be in the book." And he goes, I guarantee you fucking Dylan's reading it. I was like,
I said, Dylan's going to go nuts. I said, Dylan, I said, it's made for Dylan. And I started going down. I'm like, this guy killed Darkseid. This guy killed gods. This guy killed that. I'm like, it's unbelievable.
Some Kryptonian wizards from the Phantom Zone, and they resurrected Kryptonian gods. They ended up killing those Kryptonian gods, and then one of them he put his planet on or whatever that his base on that he lives on.
Rao is the sun.
Sick.
I was like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, but it's presented in a way that it should. If it was me, I would have put that lore right at the beginning, and then more people would have been reading it. I read it digitally, and I didn't even realize there was lore at first because I got to the end and just stopped because I'm going page by page. And then I saw it. I'm like, holy crap! This is
read books for
like
books.
a game
I read
changer.
Comics. You throw prose in the back, I'm skipping it.
You're missing out, man.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, okay, so Watchmen. You didn't read any of the extra filler material on that?
I did the first time, and then the second time, I just skipped the entire pirate story. I can tell you that.
Well, why would you read it a second time? Like that you're not supposed to read it a second time.
Well, it's more enjoyable without the pirate stuff. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, you just read it once. I see Sully in the chat. I was severely disappointed in Dead Man because I was a lock on that book being great based on the creative team and everything else.
And I both.
I love all that, but my God,
wow, what a
lot in that book.
So wordy.
Yeah,
it is so wordy. Look at all this copy you got to read. This is just an info blurb on the bottom of a page. It's kind of like just trying to, like, it's an info bomb, trying to catch you up with who Dead Man is and what, why, where. But like, look at all the word balloons. Look at all, and the lettering isn't all that great either. I mean,
but he's not Dead Man. He's the Ice Cream Man.
Really?
I didn't read Dead Man, but I didn't care for this creative team what they did with their Superman book either. I read a couple issues of that.
Exactly.
I was like, maybe these guys shouldn't be on DC books. Maybe that's just not their thing.
The thing about the Kryptonian Spectrum was better because it didn't matter. It wasn't in continuity. This is in continuity, so it makes it even more, upsetting.
Yeah, it's again, that creative team kills it with their independent books, but this was there. I think what's weird is you can see a good story in here underneath all of the copy, but they bury the character under words.
Well, also, he's not really Dead Man. He's like breaking the fourth wall. He's like, I'm the guy that does his. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on here?
I don't know.
Like, why does Dead Man care about fracking?
I also think DC needs to do a better job of using their pages for promotion. So I know that I think every book or most of the books had the Father of Tomorrow preview in the back. But you shouldn't just apply that to every book. It doesn't fit this book. I know this is a minor kind of thing to irritate about, but you've got lots of books to promote. Like, fit them tonally to the book. You're not going to go from Dead Man to this, Father of Tomorrow book. They hadn't nothing.
Should be a Vertigo book or something.
Yeah, just promote something else. But
or even that Firestorm book.
Even the Firestormer, I didn't like it, but even the Bizarro book, some of those newer books that came out would be better served.
Be smarter with your marketing. I mean, like, you're reading this book for the people who actually like it. You get to the end, and it's like, and here's a Wonder Woman story. It's like, what the hell's going on?
Dude, Perch, you know what Jim and I realized when we were reviewing this week's JSA, which is the best issue of the series that I've read so far. It's the exact same story that Jeff Lemire is doing in Firestorm.
Yeah.
It is.
He writes both books. Isn't that weird?
Dude, I mean, almost, Jeff Lemire's an okay writer, but like the last 6 books are this book.
It is. Sentry was very similar.
Yeah.
And I love that, but it's still, it's odd.
Well, Oblivion Song was kind of like that too, right? Or am I thinking the wrong one? No, Gideon Falls.
They're very.
Gideon Falls was not like this at all.
He has a take, though. It's a little bit, and in fairness, lots of writers do. Like, if you're reading a Bendis story, it reads like a Bendis story. This is the same.
Yeah, but I was like,
and disagreeing though.
The Spectre is all out of whack because he doesn't have a human host. I was like, holy shit, Firestorm's all out of whack because Stein's
and they have to find the one guy who can save.
Now they got to find Corrigan, just like they got to find Stein. Like, oh wow! I was like, we just put that together.
Well, high expectations. What are you going to do?
No, but that JSA book is fun.
It is. No, there. It wasn't a bad week in the sense of, like, there are good books to read, at least for me. It just there wasn't a major standout that there's been lately every week.
Yeah. And then Rook Exodus came back. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but it's just been a little bit disappointing, all these delays, man. I can't take it no more.
The saga schedule.
Yeah, it's going to come back in September.
Yeah.
It's like Planetary, right? The end where you're waiting years between issues.
This isn't a good way to do things, but whatever. I mean, here we are.
Yeah. All right, Sparrow. People want to hear your more in-depth, no spoiler review of He-Man.
Oh, it's tough to do it. No spoilers. It's an entertaining movie. If you have any interest in He-Man at all, I think that there's a lot there to like. If you don't have any interest in He-Man, I took my friend Marie. She could not care less. Actually, she is kind of opposed to He-Man in general, mostly because of Manny faces. She's like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and she hates it. But he wasn't in the film, so even she was like, it was entertaining. I had a good time. But she's not even a story editor, but she's smart enough to recognize there's like big story problems and there's tonal problems, and the humor was just, and I say humor lightly because it's all a lot of jokes that you've heard a million times before in a million other movies. Like, there's a lot of like, well, that just happened kind of humor. Dylan pointed one out when we were talking backstage, where Tila's like, we're screwed. And we're like, you didn't need to punctuate the joke. Like, and we've all seen that moment too, where something happens and then a character goes, and we're boned, and it's like, yeah, come on. There's nothing original there comedy wise. It gets pretty cringy and painful in certain parts, but visually it is a fantastic movie. surprisingly, Jared Leto kills it as Skeletor. He is the best part about the film, and I have never said that about a movie before, that Jared Leto is the best part of it. Usually I'm saying he's the worst part of it. So I think that, you will go and you will have a good time. And if you just don't notice a few things, you might come out of there going, that was really good.
Did you get the popcorn bucket that had like one of the towers as a soda? You got like the
no, and everybody like is all like excited about those, and I'm like, how many more microplastics do you need in your body? Like, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna drink soda out of that thing through the whole movie, and then go home and refill it, like. And I just don't have room to interact
with the film and enjoy it even more.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't need to sip out of a power sword. If I'm gonna get a prop, I'm gonna get a legit prop. If I'm gonna get Skeletor's Havoc staff, it's gonna be his Havoc staff. It's not gonna have like a little straw so I can, sip booze out of it.
I'm picturing the poor bastards in the bathroom, like washing that thing out before they go get in the car.
Yeah.
Like that residue of Coke and, Skittles and popcorn or whatever else they put in there.
Yeah, it's just like, oh.
How in the world are you going to cut a hole in the bottom of that to surprise your girl?
Well, you got to bring a Dremel. Oh, wait, I'm giving away too much.
Yeah.
So, Sparrow, how was the lead dude as He-Man, as Prince Adam?
As Adam, he was fine. As He-Man, there's no difference. So there's no change in like attitude or confidence or there's like basically two jokes that they run into the ground. One being fisting jokes, which seemed wildly inappropriate. And then the other is just the fact that on Earth he worked in HR. So they keep calling back to like HR solutions and, jokey moments where he's trying to like negotiate with the villains using his HR training when he's Adam. That just gets, it just gets to be too much. You just start rolling your eyes. But he did a good, he did a good job. He was charming. No, everybody here is let down by the script. Alison Brie is fun as Evelyn, but she's got nothing to do.
She's got the cakes, dude.
I mean, she's wearing like a full bodysuit. She doesn't have like the exposed thighs. Like
they talk about how like they position shots just to make sure her butt was in the scene.
I did not notice that. But maybe.
Okay. Did you notice it, Dylan?
Are you talking about did you say for Alison Brie?
Yeah.
I was talking about Evelyn.
Yeah, that's Alison Brie. No, not for her. For Tila. For Tila, yeah. For Tila, definitely.
Is it Tila?
But for Alison Brie,
Camilla
no.
Mendes. Yeah. And I think Camilla Mendes does a good job. I think everybody kind of does a good job. Except maybe Fisto. But he's just some like Swedish actor that they crammed in there.
Also fair, he has like the worst lines because his whole thing is being like, "Oh, why do they call me Fisto?" And that's it. That's all he gets.
Yeah, that's all he gets. Raymond. None of the villains, like aside from Skeletor, really have much to do. Like you see Triclops and he's been race swapped, but like who cares? Because he's in it for like 2 scenes and he has 1 line maybe. Trapjaw's pretty dope. That was kind of fun. And then at the end. It does suffer from a little bit of Surf Dracula. If you guys know the legend of Surf Dracula, it's back in the day, if there was a show called Surf Dracula, that fool would be surfing every week on TV. But now you would get like a 13-episode Netflix series where you have to find out how he gets his surfboard and who his mentor is, and then he doesn't surf till the last episode.
How he got the confidence.
That's kind of this movie. Like you don't get legit Battle Cat until the end. You don't get legit Tila until the end. There's another character that makes a surprise appearance at the end in kind of a really fun way, but you're kind of like, oh, I wish maybe they were in the movie for a few minutes. And then there's a really good teaser scene for a sequel we'll never get.
So it's not the next Dungeons and Dragons movie? Because I heard that comparison.
No, it's definitely the next Dungeons and Dragons movie in that it's going to be the only one.
No, but it was really, really good. Unfortunately, they just had bad word of mouth beforehand that made people think it was one thing, and it was actually really good.
I would say this I didn't enjoy this as much as Dungeons and Dragons, but it's not that there's not that much of a gulf between the two.
Really? Because I thought Dungeons and Dragons was fucking delightful.
It was. It was a good movie.
It was delightful. And this is 70 to 80% delightful.
Which is most movies these days.
And it's also too long. That's part of the problem.
Well, that's every movie.
Yeah, it's like not everything needs to be 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I just watched The Gentleman, Guy Ritchie. It's a pretty decent movie. And afterwards, I was like, I just want to watch fucking Snatch now, and you get into Snatch, you're like, wow, it's 30 minutes less. There's more story being told. It's better executed. Everything's bloated now.
Mm-hmm. Gentleman's pretty great just for.
I love The Gentleman.
Colin Farrell is fantastic in that.
The movie business in general is in the middle of being corrected, and we haven't got to the other end of it yet. That's why you've got these small independent movies that don't spend a lot they're doing better because it's quicker to market and they're able to wrap around easier. It's why you've got these giant plastic things that they're filling up popcorn with to try and supplement the revenue. Like we have not gotten to the other end of whatever's going to happen and come out of this movie industry since 2019. We're still in the middle of that mess.
It sounds like you're not a big fan of these customized popcorn holders.
No, they're fine, but they're like variant covers. They're there if you enjoy that kind of thing. Cool. If you want to spend extra money on it, good for you. It's dangerous in the sense that it's supplementing the income of movies in a false way that is probably going to hurt people long term, because you ultimately need to get the economics of making movies to stand on their own without needing plastic supplementals for theaters. But if you like that stuff, then cool. You can, you just know though at some point there's going to be some jackass on YouTube with their background filled up with movie theater popcorn containers, and that's going to be what we're looking at.
His name's going to be Sully.
How many popcorn containers can you reasonably buy?
Exactly.
Oh, so many. Trust me. No, Sully's got comics. Those are actual comics.
No, but Sully buys into bullshit like variant interiors and variant.
Oh, Sully.
See?
Project Hail Mary popcorn bucket. It came with
That's
the
not even
mission
the
patch.
That's not even cool. It's just a bucket. They didn't even put
the
any design
mission
work
patch.
into
What do
that.
you
It's not
mean
even
that's
Rocky.
Cool.
I was talking about Sully. I didn't know. I'm sorry, Sully.
Cool. That's okay.
What are you gonna do?
I love
Like,
Perch defending Sully, and Sully's like, "Oh no, you should not be defending me right now. I got the bucket.
Wait a second.
It's in the
He's like-
shot."
He's like, no, Perch. I appreciate the effort, but I got to tell you, I got some problems.
I am definitely the mark for this.
Okay,
this
fair enough.
illustrator.
Fair enough.
Oh man!
These
I'm
days
down
I'm going
for
to come
my
on here and
statistics.
Wes is going to have a big Arby's sign behind him.
If I could get my channel sponsored by Arby's, I'd do.
Oh boy.
Arby's
you need to-
advertises on my channel all the time.
That's what they should.
It's because you mentioned it You mentioned it, and then the algorithm goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
it's a good place to pair some Arby's
love-
advertisement,"
I
not
love
knowing that you just destroy Arby's every time you talk
I
about.
want to see some executive at Arby's going, where are my ads being run, and stumble across my channel and I'm talking about their poison food. And
So
Meanwhile, Wes still thinks that Arby's has the big Montana.
it's the best sandwich in fast food. So Jim yesterday sent me this picture. Apparently he had like a little incident with all of his covers being open. Can't explain it. And his dog won't go into the kitchen anymore. It's petrified of it.
Yep. Yeah.
So he thinks that something weird's going on. He decided to take a picture of his cat in the kitchen to send it to his wife and say, at least the cat's not scared. He sends me the picture of the cat. What do you think's in the background, Sparrow?
I don't know.
It looks like a headless woman.
Yeah.
I like, why did you think I would guess that? There's no way I would ever guess that. Maybe that's why the cat's scared. Maybe Jim's place is haunted.
That's the conclusion that we're coming to. Are you okay, Jim?
Yeah. No hauntings last night, except I did think I heard some bitching and moaning, but that was just my wife. She was yelling about me to the dog, but I think it was that. But yeah,
What, like to get the dog's sympathy? Like, he's a real jerk.
I
The dog's
guess.
like, yeah,
I don't know.
that guy.
but she's desperately trying to get the dog to go into the kitchen. Dog won't go. It's almost like a barrier goes up to the almost where the floor changes to the kitchen deal, and she just sits there and growls. And
This is the most basic start to a horror movie I've ever
it's
heard.
crazy too, yeah. And we just had construction, and my son then said, "Yeah, we found this pit underneath where." And I'm like, "Really? You didn't tell me that?" And he's like, "Hey, we didn't know what it was. It was like burnt out and had some dirt in it, and we just kind of covered it up again."
Ancient ruins and bones, burnt.
Oh,
What kind of
yeah.
native burial ground your house is built
Exactly.
on?
And the house is
If
over.
you see the ghost, it definitely looks like she's around in the late 1700s, early 1800s. I think she's associated with like the Civil War or something.
It's pretty crazy, and the house is like over 100. Well, it was before 19. I think it was 1890 or something that it was built, and there's been a lot of people who have killed themselves in it. I've been told. Every day I'm told another crazy story. I don't know if they're real or not, but yeah, it's pretty crazy.
One time I freaked my friend Kimber out because we went to
See
this
it?
old. We went to, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I didn't even realize. I thought, see, Finn, he's not afraid. And then my
He
wife
looked scared shitless.
I know. Well, I was just that he was there, and then my wife ended up like, "What the hell did you do?" And she sent the picture back, and I'm like, "I didn't do anything." Oh my god! And I was like, "I don't want to stay here."
The cat's like, you're seeing this shit too, right? You're seeing this.
That cat is petrified.
No, the cats have no soul. That's the cat.
That's it. Almost feels like he doesn't. Like he's just there, like whatever. So, the dog though was right behind me at that point, growling and barking. Mm-hmm. So I
showed this to my wife. She said, "Take it away, and you should move."
Yeah.
No, what you need is a young priest and an old priest.
I also told her that you need to get the house blessed, dude. Like you cannot be in there with that.
I like that Kane said he's a ghost expert, and I'm fucked.
Light some incense, bang a gong, get some crystals.
Bang a gong.
You can just
see now. And I used to do like I was saying. I freaked my friend Kimber out once because we went to this old I don't know. It's like this festival thing, but it's like all this old property, and it's got all this history. And we were taking like this walk along this hiking trail, and she was like, "So what do you think?" And I was like, "It's pretty cool." And I said, "And I think it's pretty cool that they got people out here dressed in costume." And she's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I said, I said that kid over there in the Victorian clothes. I don't know why he's all wet though. And then I pointed, and then I was like, "Oh, where'd he go?" And like there was nothing there, but I freaked her out pretty good because I just played it off like I definitely seen a kid standing there, just in wet clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a hoax, Jim? Is this a ruse?
No. Again, if it is, it's not by me because I just sent the picture and then was told, "Look at it," and I was like, "Oh God!" But no. And I told you the whole thing. I woke up and all the cupboards were open, the cabinets were open, and I just thought it was my kids messing with me. But all the doors were locked. I have the only key, and things just went from there, and just go with the flow. But again, how many things and bad luck I've had, I got to blame it on somebody. So now I'm blaming it on the ghost. But I'm not like the idea. It's whatever it is. It just seems to it's not really hurting me or anybody. The dog just doesn't like it, I guess. But,
it doesn't have a head.
Well, that's true.
It's troubling.
Look, if it's from the Civil War era, then you just need to figure out what side it's on and act accordingly.
Exactly. It's the only Philadelphia area Confederate. You
gotta walk around, Jim. Walk around your house, and just to stay safe, say things like "the Confederacy was okay by me."
You hear banjos in the middle of the night playing Dixie.
Robert E. Lee had some good ideas.
It's really about states' rights.
Stonewall Jackson couldn't eat pepper, and he had to suck on lemons and keep his left arm up.
Well,
true.
I'm a registered Democrat as well.
Engage.
No, that's what the ChatGPT said. It said, "Do not engage with the spirit and don't do a Ouija board or seance." You might upset.
I'm surprised that ChatGPT said that. I feel like ChatGPT would be like, "Yeah, get to know him."
No, ChatGPT also said to check for a gas leak.
So it did. The first thing it said was you might have carbon monoxide poisoning. I was like, that's got a point.
What you really want to do is you want
photographic evidence.
ChatGPT tells you, Jim, you might want to try to befriend the demon. Get it on your side.
You're looking good, baby.
Have you considered you're the problem?
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a sad sigh of Jim. Like, that's my life.
Yeah.
I think
it's still my
solution is to clean the camera lens because nothing in that photo is clear at all. That was the.
I know.
You can't even see the cat's face.
War,
like everything is.
Our very own Carl Sagan. No, the evidence is crummy.
Yes. That's my old phone.
Scorpion says it opened all the cabinets.
On filter.
It opened all the cabinets looking for its head.
Yeah. Let's hear for the people. Skalichioki starts out, got to be the shortest and dumbest blackmail campaign run in history. Urged panelists to watch Ripa's 2-minute video on it. He succinctly gets to the point. The massive eye-opener was they wanted to be void of any cancellation. If your run doesn't have any traction, it gets canceled. That's the business. obviously talking about the DC So White DC blackout boycott.
Mhm.
If you don't have the basis, you don't have enough of a fan base to keep a book going, you don't have enough of a fan base to run a boycott.
This thing was, I mean, it was a campaign to draw a spotlight to the organizers. That was what this was. There was never an intention to really think that there was any change to the books or anything else. It was purely about getting, hype and cred for that group. That was all there was. You could, and the whole thing about Absolute Green Lantern not being like, oh, we can't count that because it's not mainline. Bitch, that's the top selling line of books at DC right now. Why wouldn't you count that? That makes no sense.
It's the best-selling minority-led book in all of comic books.
Yeah, but you can't count that because it's not mainline. And also, we want an ongoing. And our definition of ongoing is like, well, at least 50 issues, but maybe more. And it can't be canceled even if it doesn't sell. And we don't. The whole thing was stupid. And you could tell the second they started to backtrack, we upset the other communities online. We didn't think this one through. We just wanted to get cheap hype for ourselves. It was crap, and it got no traction. It went nowhere, and here we are. But by the way, just buy these characters, you asshole. Next time Vixen's in a book, buy it. Like next time Mr. Terrific's in a book, buy it. That's the most effective way. These dumb cancellation, boycott campaigns are the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, promote it. Show it on your channel. Talk about why it's so good. Why people should support it.
Yeah,
Create a boycott.
Yeah, just it was all about hyping themselves. That's all this was.
Were you saying that it was? What's the word we used to use? It was performative.
Grifting.
Grifting is a pretty good word.
Grifting.
Grifting. Performative. Like, look, if you want people to listen to you, first of all, maybe don't have a septum piercing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, yeah.
Double sewing a dude.
It just there's lots of ways to get what you want here. Tons of good, effective ways to do it. This was about like, make sure you follow us, make sure you check us out. It was purely self-serving. It had nothing to do with the community it was after.
Nope.
Like 2.5 years ago, there was a Green Lantern War Journal book with Philip Kennedy Johnson and Montos on it. And it was pretty darn good. And it starred Jon Stewart, and it died and got canceled because nobody bought it.
Maxi
Even though it was
series.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. When that first came out, I saw the tweet and I ended up tweeting. There's been, a bunch of blacklight books. They've been minis or maxis. And I'm like, well, you had Mr. Terrific, you had a Black Lightning book, you had a Power Company book, you had the War Journal book, you had an Aquaman book a little bit before that. That wasn't ongoing. And they didn't even seem to know that those books existed, first off. And then there was all these caveats. It's like, well, that was a maxi. Well, yeah, but still. Oh, the mini. Oh, that was that. Other characters were in it. There was so many other things thrown into this to try to get to this protest that it just seems silly. And I just said, I guess, you got to buy these books. If a mini sells out the wazoo, it's going to get picked up and they're going to do more. Nobody was buying those books. And they didn't even know about them. So
Poison Ivy started out as a miniseries. I think DC would love to turn some of those things into ongoings.
Even like something like a Martian Manhunter, Absolute Martian Manhunter. It just went to a maxi, but they will add, things if it does really well.
Firestorm just went to 9 issues.
They love that issues. They like money, as it turns out. But one of the big telling moments of this thing for me was somebody brought up the Jeff Thorne, Jon Stewart Green Lantern series for ways back. And it was like, well, that doesn't count. It's like, yeah, except it still got more issues than most Marvel series.
Yeah.
So why doesn't it count? It's like, well, it also doesn't count because Jon Stewart is a Green Lantern. So it was more of an ensemble book. It's not really about a black character. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
That was the thing.
Anyway, you could come along and say that like it doesn't count because it doesn't match our narrative.
That's
why it doesn't count.
Well, then somebody finally brought up an old tweet from one of these guys complaining about Jeff Thorne being an asshole, and it's like, okay, so you also don't like the creator. What do you want out of this? You just
Jon Stewart book, so
attention.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right, Hirsch. You want attention.
Because there are publishers out there doing exactly what that they're demanding. You could point to a Rippaverse. You could point to Godhood comic books. You could point to like 3 or 4 other publishers out there. They never mentioned those guys.
Sure.
Cyborg had a book too.
Cyborg had that Morgan Hampton book.
Yeah,
but this is the problem too. A lot of them weren't great, but they still didn't sell. And like Perch was saying, every time I'm talking to them, and it's like every step was, oh, that doesn't count. Oh, that's because of this. Oh, that has this, and At one point, I forget what book it was. I think it was the Black Lightning book. Oh, well, it had a side character that was white. I'm like, yeah, but it was like, I don't get it. And then you talk to Milestone, you know, oh, that doesn't count, the Milestone stuff, because that's not mainline. And it just went on and on.
You just the fastest, most effective way, which you say with Firestorm right now, buy the books and ask the shop owner to carry the book. Get it on pull lists. Things get extended. DC would die to have more ongoing books. They would love it. So you think DC, with what they want to do with Mr. Terrific and their movie universe, they don't want a top selling Mr. Terrific book? Of course they do. Yeah. So just buy it. That's all you have to do. And don't do this bullshit of like, well, I'm going to pirate it and buy it later. Buy it. Put your money there. You put your money there, the book will get extended. And it's such a low bar. You get that book to 40,000 copies, it will be extended. It's not exactly
they go nuts. Yeah.
You're not shooting for millions of books at this point.
But they seem to be offended that it starts as a mini. But a lot of the DC stuff now it's going to rely on starting as minis. You're going to get a lot of minis, and that's the litmus test. If they're going to end up like, okay, this is a character that can be supported, and then you'll get more and more. But they just seem like they want it all right away.
Well, if your whole base of people that's going to join up with you and say like, yeah, we're boycotting, we're never buying to begin with, it doesn't mean anything.
That's yeah.
Look, I think you can boycott Marvel for not featuring white characters, because we have not had a white character solo book last more than 100 issues in mainline universe in quite a long time.
Oh, I'm angry.
Yeah.
We got Jagline. Okay. So I am trying to decide, do I get Absolute Sinestro Core War, or do I get the Omnibus for Forever Evil? I can get either for under $75 before tax. I think this one's a no-brainer, at least for me, because I think Sinestro Core War is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'd get the Absolute Edition of Sinestro Core War. I like Forever Evil, but that Sinestro Core blows out of the water. And the Absolute Edition, so you're getting that big, beautiful art. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd go with that.
Yeah. And it's hardcover, so you get the better binding, and it's gonna last you. It's gonna last you the rest of your life.
It's a trophy to put on the wall, dude.
Yeah, it also has more staying power as a book that matters. That's a good addition to get. The Absolute.
Yeah. That's a good point too. Yeah, very good point.
I own it. It's sick.
I enjoyed
the cover. It's pretty amazing. Where they're all being like crucified by their rings.
Yeah,
it's good shit.
It's a good price.
Yeah, definitely. Hit buy
slipcase.
We've got Wolf 00 Vereen, 001 Vereen, something like that. Perch, what's your opinion on the God of War Laufey controversy?
I find it kind of dumb to just be. Look, I understand people are round up on this, but first of all, they've been teasing that they're going in this direction since the first game. I enjoyed the original God of War series. They were fun to play. They were kind of stupid. They were just fun. The new series looks good. It's very pretty. It's been fun to play. I played both games, but I do the dialogue between Kratos and his son. I mean, it's okay, but I mean, it's not like this is fine art for displaying a family in a video game. But they're always going to go this way, and so now they're going to focus on the mom, which. Okay. This isn't the hill that I would die on. It's very easy for me just to not play the game if I don't want to do it. The only part about this I think was super disingenuous is a lot of the screenshots that were being shared. They picked the absolute worst of the mom waking up as a corpse, dead and like looking super shitty. And they're like, look how ugly these women are. It's like, yeah, there was also 50 other shots of this mom in the trailer where she looks fine, but you picked the one where she's clearly coming out of a decayed state. But fine. Will the game be fun? It's going to be another narrative cutscene type game. If you enjoy that, fine.
And if you want to be mad about ugly character design, Insomniac's got Wolverine coming out.
Wolverine,
you got Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, hideous.
And no X-Men. Team X, though. In our universe, we have Team X. Okay.
Sweet baby ink detected.
Ooh, boy.
All right, Dylan. You are the real comic book gamer. What do you think about this controversy? Are you a God of War guy?
I played the first one of this reboot, and I played on the hardest difficulty and beat it using one move. So gameplay isn't exactly the the big strong suit of these games. A lot of walking and talking and cutscenes.
Yes.
But this is kind of stupid because to put it in perspective for those that didn't play the game, in the first of this reboot, you're going over you're mourning the death of your wife, which is you're going to be playing as this game, and it's like very like somber, and it's supposed to be like a sad game and everything. But it turns out while you're mourning her, she's being a badass fighting other gods and stuff. So it I feel like it kind of ruins the first game in that aspect, because like it's this sad thing. She set up this whole journey for you and your son to go on to like spread her ashes at the top of like this mountain or whatever, and now it turns out the whole time she was in the afterlife like fighting these other gods and going on this adventure with a talking cube. It's like, oh, I feel like that kind of ruins what happened in the first game. So that's the perspective I come from with this. It feels kind of dumb.
That's not a bad perspective. It does take the emotional weight out of the first, but I like what you said at the beginning. That's why I like the original God of War series better. This one, you can master one button.
I just threw that axe at fucking everything. And it worked. That's all I did. And I streamed it, and I had people getting mad at me that liked the game. Like, well, you can do other stuff. It's like, I don't have to. I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and I don't have to do anything but throw that axe.
Yeah. Yeah. I think why are they including a woman now? Like she was always part of this reboot. So I think that part is just people who didn't play the first two games, but whatever. I make the game challenging again. The abundance of cutscenes. I mean, like the new Final Fantasy series 7 series is the same way for me. It's just, there's too much.
That's a big Sony thing too with their, because they want to be movies so bad, and that's what's hilarious about this was they're like, we got 20 minutes of gameplay. It's walking and talking and cutscenes. That's all it is. This 20 minutes of gameplay was.
Yeah, agreed.
Jag Live says, Perch, your video on Avengers made me sad, and I wonder if I should just leave Marvel. The possible MCUification would drive me off. Why are you going out there and Grandpa Perch and people making them sad about the next generation?
I don't know. We want to talk about Avengers. I mean, I think so. My perspective, which I was kind of saying here, is that if you think about how comics are planned, this new lineup, which is very much a let's go back to the Bendis era of street level relatable. That's exactly what this is. It's Zdarsky's doing, and somebody can help me out here. When was that Bendis era? It was like
2005-ish,
2006.
Oh wow, okay, so further back, so 20 years basically.
Yeah, like Luke Cage, that's new. I love those new Avengers books. I love the Leinil Yu. I know there's a lot of fans that don't like his art. I fucking love Leinil Yu's art.
No,
it's some really good comics.
Yeah,
I like his art, except when his characters look like they've had their eyes gouged out. That's the only time that I'm like, come on, draw some eyeballs, man.
But they're going back. They're basically going back to play it again from 20 years ago. The Armageddon setup is going to be that here, people don't trust heroes anymore. It's going to be kind of what they're trying to do in the X-Men, just broadly everywhere. And so it's the heroes are on their back feet and they have to fight their way back into glory again. That's what we've got. But the takeaway that I said in the video I posted on was, because this comic was planned a year and a half ago or more, because that's when this idea was first started. This all predates Dan Buckley being ousted, all these other executives that are now being folded into Disney. And so this is the last moment for me that you're going to see that does not have much tighter synergy with what they're doing in the MCU. This is going to be a weird moment in time comic. There's going to be kind of this last bit before we get into the heavily alignment with the movies era that will be hitting in about a year and a half.
Because the movies are doing so great. We definitely want to align with those.
Disney likes consistent storytelling. They will put their fist down.
Aaron knows this. He was in the Boom Studio Kids office. He was getting fisted all the time.
Yeah.
No, we actually when I was at Boom, there were issues with approvals, but it wasn't anything as restrictive as we got once we were under Joe Books. Boom, we actually had a good liaison at Disney Publishing who had done the Disney Adventures magazine. He knew the properties, he could take risks. When we were over at Joe Books, the approval people had been replaced by people who had just come from like gardening magazines and things like that. Other aspects of publishing. They didn't know the characters, they didn't know the properties. They just had a big rule book of things that they had decided that you can't do. So, it's like you can't have Launchpad on covers because it might confuse people with DuckTales. It's like, yeah, Launchpad is in both shows. People will not be confused, but the person who is coming from the gardening magazine doesn't know that. You can't have you can't have his gas gun or even a grappling hook on covers because we've decided that Disney characters can't hold guns. And it's like, so you got to go back to all those old Mickey comics where Mickey was always busting out a Roscoe and pistol whipping people. You got to take out the guns, and it's like now the comic doesn't make sense. That's kind of the stuff that you were dealing with by the Joe Books time, and now I'm sure at Dynamite, I'm sure it's even worse.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. I mean, it's a topic for another day. I'd love to chat with all of you about is what do you honestly think the Disney era of Marvel will look like? Because I don't think it's necessarily going to be bad. I think there's a lot of benefits that come out of that. Very different from what you were saying just now, Aaron. But I think there are some benefits which talk over another time. But the next year at Marvel is going to be fascinating because it is a bunch of comics that were produced under the former leadership that's now gone. And watching how that kind of maneuvers and goes and that whole era is going to be just fascinating. From not necessarily a comic reading perspective, some will be good, some will be bad, but kind of watching the business, it's going to just be amazing to watch the politics and how all this plays out.
Yeah.
Wolf 001 Vereen. Why doesn't the comic book industry create new heroes? So, Jim, we do have an exciting new hero in Spider-Man, maybe with Captain Kitsugi. We get some new heroes every once in a while, but they don't.
That's Katsugi. He dropped the captain.
I'm sorry. He dropped
Please.
The captain?
yeah, the great Katsugi. It's I don't know. I think that a lot of times they're having problems selling the big heroes. So you end up, but they tried to push things too quick. You have Yara Flor. People like the way she looks. So all of a sudden they announce there's going to be a TV show that never happens, solo series that doesn't last. They just don't organically do it. They do try it at points, but it usually isn't very heroic what they do. And again, it's usually just Captain America saying how great a character is before you even know. That's tell, don't show. There's a lot of problems with it, but I think it's a lot that they don't want to take any risks because they're not making money on the things that should be a given anymore. So they're kind of.
I think they have limited resources. You only have so much marketing budget to try and get a character or a story over. Do you want to invest in this new character that nobody's really familiar with, or do you want to invest in the Batman story? I'm invested in Batman because the return is far less risky.
There's no incentive to creating new characters at Marvel, at least. But I don't know what Wolverine is talking about because I remember there was one point a few years back where B. Diallo was bragging about all the new characters she had creaed for the New Mutants or for the mutant books. Just like a list of this one runs the mutant subreddit, and this one is a YouTuber, and this one works
a lot of times
store.
And a lot of times it's weird because the companies don't realize the solid gold they have in such new characters as Diaper Neck. Or crab claws, like they get there, they tie their wagon to the wrong heroes here, and
the lame She-Hulk.
The
monstrosities.
When are we getting a Screwball movie?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, like you need to sell these. The comic publishers don't have the patience to let it go 2 years.
No.
If you're going to create a new superhero, you either have to introduce them as part of an ensemble book like the X-Men, where you could kind of slowly build them up as a group, or you kind of
show up as a villain, but eventually you realize that they just went on the same page as the hero.
There's ways you could do it, but you have to have patience. And so the core to all this question is you have to be willing to go 2 to 3 years with a plan and be patient and let it build, which means you're not going to be making a lot of money maybe for 2 to 3 years on this book. But when you're putting out 80 books, you should be able to have some patience for 5 books to just, commit to going 2 years. Maybe they need to listen to the DC blackout people and no cancellation.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I remember Deadpool didn't hit right away when it took Deadpool a while to get popular. Like people were interested in Cable right away,
right?
But like what's this guy's deal? But like Deadpool was just kind of like, oh, that guy's neat looking. But it wasn't until you got like the Circle Chase with Fabian Nicieza and Joe Madeira that like Deadpool started to take off as a character.
And in reality too, like Marvel has introduced a ton of young and teen sidekick and derivative superheroes in the past 10 years.
The rollerblading Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I mean, like every new the Jed McKay's X-Men team has like 4 new characters. Simone's has about 5 new teen characters. Eve Ewing's same thing. She's got at least 3 major new characters. Then you got
Name 5, Sully. Name 5 and tell me why they're interesting.
There's The caveat's going to ruin it.
The girl on the horse,
No,
the kid that likes Death Dream. You know,
that's the name.
Exactly. And then you got the new champion stuff. Is that it? Like, you know, and yet those more derivative heroes out of is that the Steve Fox stuff coming out of Spider-Woman? And it's just Marvel seems mobbed with too many teen superheroes, and none of them catch.
Well, they also, but it's the same problem again. They introduce them. They never get past the writer. So Gail Simone has these good characters in her book, and some of them have interesting powers. I mean, the girl with the horse notwithstanding, Calico, like a lot of them are, you know, could be reasonable characters. But one, the writing is the dialogue is atrocious in that book. It's getting worse issue after issue. Of like, what in the hell are you doing with some of this dialogue? But beyond that, it's none of these characters ever emerge in any way outside of Gail's book. So when Gail leaves that title, those characters will vanish, as we've seen from Vita and Danny Lore and all the other characters that have been created. They never go anywhere beyond that writer's run. And so a new writer comes in and here's 12 new characters. And so to your point, there has to be 500 characters produced since the Krakoa era that are just hanging out there. Like the champions, where are they now? Where's what about that indigenous Alaska woman that was introduced? I think Jim Zub created her.
Is there a Spider Girl and a Spider Boy now?
Where is Spider Boy?
And there's Ellie Camacho.
Yep, Deadpool 2, the Electric Boogaloo.
Where are these characters? They were made and then they never go past the run of the writer, and so then you're just piling on these new characters nobody knows what to do with.
Callum, what do you think they want to do? Why do you think they want to destroy heroes for young boys, but especially masculine ones? Also, Sparrow, I saw those tweets about the Wolverine game.
My tweets? Yeah. No, I think that there's a look, without getting into too much like kind of like culture war bullshit. There was a huge infusion of women into the industry. You know, we had to get a gender parity going, and a lot of the women that came in are not interested in the thing. They want to inject the things that they're interested in into the thing, and that doesn't jibe with the audience that exists. So, you know, you get a breakdown of these kind of like masculine concepts, or they try to put women in the roles, in the masculine roles of these characters, and they can't quite get it right, and it just. You turn the core audience off, the core audience walks away, and there is no new modern audience that comes in to replace them. And that's like an oversimplification, but that's the long and the short of it.
I don't think they broadly really know how to write a lot of these characters now, and they're given runs that are 6 issues or less. And so it's, you know, what do you do with that? You know, you can't use this villain. You can't have any kind of subplots that Claremont and others use really effectively. You can't do anything. So you tell these short, contained stories, and it's like, I want to do something different, so I'm going to make Ultron a silly podcaster, or I'm going to just have them fighting, you know, random dudes. It's like nothing. If the conflict isn't interesting, the hero becomes uninteresting. You know, when Captain America is going up against just faceless mobs of racists. You know, granted, he would probably do that, but when you're on your, you know, 5th version of that story, why? Like, it's not interesting to a reader. Nobody believes that Captain America is going to have any problem fighting the Proud Boys. He'll be fine, you know, or worse, like Ghost Rider against, you know, a white supremacist group. That's going to be a very short fight. So why? That's just not an interesting story. So if it's not an interesting conflict, then the hero themselves is lame.
Remember when wasn't there a Wonder Woman cover where Steve Trevor was supposed to have a gun and they replaced it with like a Nerf gun or something?
Walkie-talkie.
I don't know. They've done that a bunch with weapons, just replacing it with
stuff like that. You look at it and it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
There was discussions at Marvel for a time about replacing all realistic weapons with sci-fi weapons.
Yeah,
and
with the Punisher when they started to phase him out.
Mm-hmm. and that also that almost became a thing. So if you can imagine, you can't tell a story anymore with a guy like robbing the corner liquor store, and you got a little aside with Spider-Man stopping that guy, unless the guy has like a sci-fi gun. He can't just have a regular pistol anymore or anything like that. That was actually something that was discussed, because it's just such a weird convergence of like our modern day politics and the way people feel about issues, and then what they're willing to put into a comic book. And again, that hampers things. And to Purchase point, if you've only got 6 issues at best to tell your story, you can't take any big swings. Spider-Man's got to fight a white supremacy group, because that's an easy in and out, and it's shorthand. You don't have to establish why they're villains. We understand why they're villains. It's not interesting.
And you get an article out of it.
And you get an article out of it, and you get some, some pats on the back. But also, it's like, what's the point of taking any big swings? You don't have the issues to get it done. You don't have the issues to build anything, even if you are a good writer, which, precious few at Marvel are. But that's kind of, where you're at.
Well, and if you work for the big two, but particularly if you work for Marvel, your goal is to write your own independent comic and get it at Image and get enough of a name that you could do that. That is your goal. Mm-hmm. So you're going in, you're given 6 issues, you've got heavy restrictions around who you can do. You can't change the status quo really in any meaningful way. You have no idea where the things go on. You're going to put in the work needed to get your check and get your name somewhere so that you can parlay it into an independent book where you actually get paid on it. And in that world, yeah, what are you doing? And so your heroes get destroyed, because heroes need to have, whether men, women, whoever they might be, they need to have big conflict. They need to be able to overcome massive things. That's how they are heroic. You give them nothing to overcome, it doesn't matter. And Dylan's loving a lot of the DC books. Like, if you notice the ones that are really good, it's where there is a major conflict and the hero has to stretch themselves to win. And those stories kick ass. And that is what young boys or whatever, that's what they want to read. Not just, frankly, anyone. It doesn't have to just be young boys. People want to read compelling books.
And that's why Green Lantern feels so weird now, because all of a sudden it's a jokey book where Kyle Rayner and Odyssey are thinking about getting plastic surgery, and you're like, what happened here?
It's not there is a place for slice of life, that type of book. Ranma One Half is an amazing comic or manga series. It's great. It's very slice of life. It's very jokey. That's what it is. Green Lantern is not that. So you don't need to have Green Lantern be that.
Yeah. And when every book is jokey slice of life, then nothing's interesting about any of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you look, there are books that the Psylocke book people liked, the recent Cyclops series people liked, but there's real conflict in those books. It is the hero doing something heroic. That it's more complicated than that, but not much more complicated than that. Those books sell.
Kalichioki, as DC does one thing right, they can't help but shoot themselves. Nobody gives an F about trans Wonder Woman. This is why you can't get normies back in shops. Yeah, I've read the Dream Girls book, Perch. It's pretty strange, but she's not technically Wonder Woman. She just has it like
it's a dream. It's a
playing on
a dream.
Yeah.
Plus, it's in a Pride issue. What do you expect?
It's a Pride issue.
Like it, just don't get it.
There were some articles saying that this is the first trans Wonder Woman, so it's not like this came out of nowhere.
No, but that's the look. To me, the Pride issues are kind of the silliest thing to get angry about, because they're the easiest to avoid.
That's what it is.
They don't mean anything. I think Joe Corallo is the only person who's ever written a Pride story that mattered to the status quo of any characters.
True. Yeah. No, and that's right. Joe's story that actually brought back that charter.
Coagula.
Coagula.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that mattered in the continuity.
Mm-hmm.
But by and large, if you don't like this stuff, it's so easy to avoid it. I mean, it's really easy because they're more expensive books. You can just not buy it, and none of it ever shows up anywhere else. But I think what you were saying, Wes, the comic media or people on Reddit or social media, wherever it happens to be, they run with this stuff of like, we've got a trans Wonder Woman now. You don't, though. Dreamer was having a dream about being on Themyscira. That was what that was. That wasn't. There was no.
And she dreams about being Batman after that.
Yeah. Why didn't they run with that headline? We now have a trans Batman. Because you do the same way we had a trans Wonder Woman. It's just, but it's so easy to.
It's there to facilitate people arguing with each other and getting angry about something that isn't real.
For sure.
In the book, and it's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's poorly put together and executed. And the art is completely discombobulating.
It's I wish actually more comics were like the Pride issue, and that you know exactly. I mean, you look at the cover, you look at the title, you know what you're going to get. You get exactly what you think you're going to get.
Yeah. So it was a continuation of like this one shot that they'd done a few months ago. It was kind of strange, but I wouldn't recommend it. But I bet they got lots of clicks on the article with the headlines.
And there wasn't the new character Hero Galaxy was featured, so there were new heroes. Another one that's kind of like pushed out of nowhere. That's not that interesting, but
they won't get. There will be more people who click on that article and get pissed off about it than people who read the story.
It's true.
Most definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
Sally Akibe, what are your thoughts on Hush 2 Part 1 finale, Perch? We talked about it last week.
No, I don't. I think this was a bad idea. I mean, I don't know what they're doing here. It's too long for this thing to get stretched out. It feels like the first Hush series was not great. It's in people's memories. It's really good because you're seeing Jim Lee do Batman and you're getting the Rogues Gallery. And I think a lot of people have this kind of memory of it being amazing. If you go back and read it, it's not that great. The sequel, worse. So, I mean, I saw that it's like kind of a part 1 to be continued. I'm like, don't threaten me with that. Like
Hush 2 squared. I was like, no.
Yeah. So 20 years from now, we're going to get the continuation of this story.
No, I mean, Hush is a perennial seller. It might be the best looking Batman story of all time. So, it's definitely in the running.
Yeah.
And they wanted something to sit next to it. It's unfortunate that it's taking so long because of the delays, and the story is just incomprehensibly bad.
Yeah. No, I get why they do it. It does sell. People like money. I mean, good. I like people making decisions to make money. That's cool. But, there's a million other DC comics I'm enjoying over that one.
What's the over-under? We get the finish of Hush 2 Part 2, 3 years? 36 months?
With a new artist. I almost guarantee you. They'll bring in Mark Silvestri or somebody to do it.
Why not the guy that did that Wonder Woman Lost book?
Because they'll want to have one of the Image people. They're going to want to connect it to Jim Lee in some way, and that's I may be completely wrong, but I don't see Jim Lee gonna sign it up to do the second part of this.
No. We got HH the fam over at Sigma Comics. Shout out from Phoenix Fame Fusion in Indiana Comic Con. Can't beg your way into a successful title. Takes hard work and sweat. Do the work, get the results.
True.
Absolutely.
No lies detected.
Man, so he's in probably Indiana. And you think Casey's in Phoenix? Man, they divide and conquer now. They're taking over multiple cons a weekend now, Perch.
That's a road show. Good for you.
Man,
God, Phoenix has got to be hot as hell right now.
It cannot be hotter than it is here, dude. It is ungodly hot here in the Philippines for it right now. But congratulations on Wanted Men and all that good stuff going on there at HH. We also got Saliaki Bay. What are your thoughts on the new Power Rangers reboot? In the original Boom comics, do you believe they moved away from Jason because of his allegations? So I do know that a new Mighty Morphin Power Rangers book came out this week, Perch, but I don't really like Power Rangers. That's more my wife's thing. And I saw that it was Marguerite Bennett, so I didn't check it out. Was it good?
I think you have to ask anyone else literally about this. I haven't read it, and I'm not a Power Rangers guy.
No.
It wasn't good?
This is a terrible book.
It was not good.
It is not good one bit. I love Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I was a little too old for it when it came out in a way. It was like I was turning 20, but I was fascinated with it. It was great. Those Fox shows back then, they had Batman, the animated series, and Spider-Man and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And I love how they perpetuated it, with Zeo and Turbo and everything. But this, I spent $6.99 on this. It's a Virgin foil variant cover because I wanted to give it a chance. I've heard really good stories about good buzz about Boom doing Power Rangers Prime and other.
That was Ryan Parrott.
Yeah,
Ryan Parrott and Kyle Higgins did some good stuff with Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I.
Well, they also had a really good editor. Daphne Plebin was over that, so she hired good people and she oversaw it. in like a really great way.
Yeah, and so I like decided, you know what, I'm gonna pick it up. Why don't I get the variant cover? Now it's a real variant cover. It's not a piece of cardstock stapled over the A cover like we get over at DC Comics. So I'm like, okay, let me. I wanted to get a number one of something. I wanted to spend some money in my comic book shop and give a chance. So I gave it a chance. I lost $7 on this. The story is pretty poor, but the art is so terrible. It is flat. It looks like it was drawn on like a tablet in the backseat of a car in a bumpy ride. I mean, this is not good art. And I don't want to be like, dissing artists, like writers and artists. That's just not my style. But the proof of the pudding's on the plate. The art in this is so flat. This is a boring book. And I won't be back for issue 2. Yeah, but
you didn't get it's Jeff as your number one this week.
I was gonna pick that up because just to fuck with you, but I didn't want to spend the $6.99 on it just to fuck with you.
A Jeff book is $6.99.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it was a really cute variant cover too, because I can I know, huh? But still, it's like I read it a reader copy. A review copy. So, and I was like, hey, this is actually the kind of Jeff story that I like, if I can frame it like that, because it's more Sunday funny, Sunday funnies, very little to no dialogue, all emojis. It's fun and expressive and it's lighthearted. And it works for its own thing. So it's like, me and Jeff, I don't mind it one bit. I think it's kind of cute and it's not serious. And it's a much better book. And it would have been a better $7 spent than this. This
the best number one I read this week, and I'm not recommending it, was the oddly ill-conceived Gail Simone boxing comic book, which was not very good, but was better than a lot of the crap that came out. So what's with the allegations against Jason? I don't understand where that's come from. I'm not a Power Rangers guy. I'm assuming Sparrow might be in here.
Oh, what? Moved away from Jason because of the allegations? I don't know anything about that.
I don't know. Well, because they put out a call to the Power Rangers 10 years after. So you start in medias res. It's been 10 years.
I think it's allegations against who played Jason. Maybe he beat some women up. Was he a racist?
Well, was it Jason David Frank?
Yeah, he's
no. Jason David Frank played the original
Tommy
Green Ranger.
Yeah,
he played
Green
Tommy.
and White. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he didn't play Jason. Yeah, Jason was Austin St. John.
Talking about Jason as okay. Then I know.
Okay, we should have sent this to Dylan. He actually fucking knows Power Rangers.
More Power Rangers. He had, I think, the only allegation I remember him having was I think he had some type of fraud thing with when they were doing those like COVID loans. He had a business. I think he went to court over that, but I think he was fine. I don't think anything actually happened from that. I believe that's what it was, but it's been a while. And that was like a while ago. As far as I know, there's not any new allegations, but I think that's what happened a while ago.
So he says, yes, it's the allegations towards Austin.
I mean, who hasn't done a good COVID scam?
Yeah.
Really? Right? Like, everybody in Congress.
We do it all the time.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, we should like who cast the first stone on that one?
I got a learning center too. Come on, the Sully Learning Center.
Oh, Sully, I'm running like 3 hospices.
Okay, here we go. This guy says he scammed government out of COVID money and he wanted to put Hitler quotes on T-shirts.
Who doesn't?
That's not good.
Well, which quotes? Surely.
I remember something about those.
I love dogs.
And he made a statement about it. It wasn't like him being like a racist Nazi or anything. He actually has an interesting story too, because they were getting scammed by Saban when the Power Rangers was coming out. It was like the biggest show at the time. They weren't getting paid at all. Him and like several other cast members were like, we're going to boycott. We're not going to come back till we actually get paid what we're worth. And then him and the Black Ranger, Zach, actually committed. Everyone else is like, actually, Saban said they'll sign us for a few more years, so we're gonna go, and they just completely like screwed them over. So he left, and he went and he became like an EMT overseas, and like actually did some stuff instead of continuing being a Power Ranger, which he could have. So he actually had an interesting story.
There you go. I feel so bad. I figured, Aaron's the pop culture guy, and it was Dylan that knew all about the Power Rangers.
Well, I came in late when I saw
him and Jason David Frank had beef also.
Yeah.
I thought they were talking about Jason David Frank because I didn't, it's like, wait, who were we talking about?
Wasn't one of them going to be an MMA fighter or something?
That was Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
He fought in MMA. He also he set like a Guinness World Record for like most broken wooden boards while skydiving. He did something like that. He did some insane
he skydived down and hit him.
Yes, it was like breaking boards while skydiving. But yeah,
I thought he was going to come down and punch him on the ground and break
no, while in the air. He's doing that. Yeah, he had some MMA fights and some random
before I pull my chute, I manifest my chi.
I got to hang out with him a few times because my friend Scott runs the Tower Morphicon, so I got to hang out with him a couple of times, and he was always really nice.
There you go. I think we gave a better answer than I was ever qualified to give on that one. Consider it a win. So I guess we'll get into some of the main topics. There was a big issue of Amazing Spider-Man this week. It was issue number 30. Pete Woods on art. And we've got major revelations this week, perched not only for Aunt May. There might be a child out there, but there was revelations about Peter and his childhood. What did he and Brian Nehring do? Revelations about who Ketsugi really is that I didn't think made a whole lot of sense. There's also just more women throwing vagina at Peter, which I don't know why that's happening continuously. What did you think of all the big retcons and stuff in ASM 30, dude?
I just wonder what, Peter basically sacrificed his marriage to save Aunt May, who we now learn is a whore. It just feels like a shame there.
But it's Ben's kid.
It is. Sorry, I do. Somebody mentioned in the chat. I think it's a good take. Ben is the great power, great responsibility, but he let this kid hang out there. Okay. The challenge. This issue was funny to me because the Ketsugi revelation. Fine. I mean, you're the son of the kid. You have some cancer or whatever. Like whatever it is. I mean, it's fine. But they've been building up in this run to this new villain pretty much since the beginning, I think, unless I'm really off track here, but that's what it feels like they've been doing. I like how everybody is taken off as I talk, but anyway, they've been building up to this new villain, and then this villain is like a one and done battle. It just fighting the mushroom dude. I don't know, this, it's hard to believe any of this goes anywhere, and that goes for everything. The only thing that was nice about this issue is Peter clearly getting a lot of tail.
He's a magnet, that guy. The weird thing is because of the way that Joe Kelly's writing it, you kind of forget that Hellgate's still out there as one of the villains as well. And then you have Mushroom Man. That's the best, is everybody just calls him Mushroom Man. That shows that he's not hitting and he's goofy and it just doesn't hit. And the whole run feels scattered. It feels like, Joe Kelly's all of a sudden, oh, Mushroom Man, and you have that. Yeah, and then that's done. And then you done very lackluster, and then you just throw something else out there. It really feels just so convoluted and just scattered.
It doesn't feel like we're building to 1,000.
No.
And maybe in many ways we're not, because they've rebooted the series several times. We're carrying on legacy numbering. How important is 1,000 to Marvel anyway? Clearly not. Other than in their heads are like, we're going to get a chance to sell a book for $12.99. That's it. I saw a lot of people like, this is the issue. We're going to get Peter and MJ back together. I'm like, you're high at this point if you think that's what's happening. So sorry.
Never, ever getting back together. Your friends talk and my friends talk, and they all talk to me. Just like Taylor said.
They are. That's it. It took me a minute there because I don't.
Thank you.
I think we will definitely see Peter and MJ back together again the second they do it in the movie. Until then, we're going to be dealing with this. But I don't know. I like the mystery cousin. Why the cousin's clearly going to become a villain at some point, or we're going to learn he's dodgy and the opposite of Ben. I mean, I don't mind Kelly's writing at all. It's a perfectly well written book. It's just it feels like they're killing time.
Yeah. It feels like they go with that Peter Parker luck, but it's more, I don't know, it's more dark and hateful now than just, hey, look at the point. I don't know. And like you said, what are they going to do with this cousin? Is it going to be that, oh, this is the the kid that didn't grow up with the, tutelage of Uncle Ben, but that makes people look bad. It just, everything seems to make people look bad in my mind. It kind of throws me.
Yeah. No, I do believe that's the storyline. We're going to see what it looks like when you don't grow up with the values that Uncle Ben.
That's really
Uncle Ben
interesting.
didn't say his one sentence to him, and now he's screwed.
Because we have Superman and Homelander. Homelander's basically Superman divorced of the Kents and doesn't having that. Every variant of Superman we see that it doesn't have like Mom and Pa Kent. He's not Superman. He doesn't end up with the morality and the proper the proper origin story. And so I think you got something there. Without power, without responsibility, who is this person?
And that's why, as we all know, comic writers, if you look at kind of everything they've done over the last 10, 15 years, they really focus on one theme. And that's, old-fashioned country Republican values are really what are needed to have heroes. Because if you remove that, you clearly get villains. So if it's just another example of kind of the right-wing agenda just so aggressively pushed in comics today.
So true.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, Wes came back in for that one, but Aaron's MIA, so I don't get to see his face on that one.
You got a message.
Yeah. The more you know.
Yeah. I won't even tell you who that's from.
And you know what? We already had a mushroom man. We got a mushroom man over on Solomon Ahmed's Daredevil.
Yeah, we had it in Daredevil.
Man, is it?
No.
A tie-in? No, it's not.
Brian Nehring, the diabolical,
the best friend from
Brian
childhood.
Nehring.
Well, we didn't see that coming a mile away.
I said to Wes when we were talking about Spider-Man, the thing that I get is when you first open up and you get the credits page, you get the balloons of all the characters that are mainly involved. And I look at them, I'm like, this is the cast. Brian Nehring, Mushroom Man, Dr. Ohm, Katsugi. I'm like, oh my goodness. But that Katsugi stuff and everything in it, like everything in this issue just felt like you were rolling your eyes each page. Like, oh God, that, like, oh, Katsugi.
It's tough because you want them to introduce. I mean, I want them to introduce new villains. I do not want another here comes the Green Goblin again. He's being a dick, and so I'm glad for them to do something new. But yeah, this is issue 30. I believe they introduced this Mushroom Dude character in issue 1, right? Mm-hmm. So 29 issues of build to this moment where kind of the old sins with their young, when they were boys, coming to a head, and now he's got these powers and it's creepy and everything else. And then we're done in an issue as Peter exhibits sort of a new power. Not really. It's a spider sense, but used maybe visualized in a little bit of a different way in that comic. And then we're done. And so 29 issues to build up this villain that's kind of done in one. Is this villain? I mean, this villain isn't as big a threat as Hellgate is at this point for the comics. So what did we? Why do we do that?
Yeah. And you have these other characters from space like Raylith, and they're just hanging in the apartment, just waiting for Hellgate to come back so they can get involved. And it just, I don't know. I don't know why you build. Yeah, like you said, you build it up. But even then, with Brian Nehring, through the whole thing, you're like, well, they're either going to make mushroom houses, or he's going to turn into some mushroom villain. And as Church, like you said, the thing about getting new villains, that's great, mushroom housing. But I really wanted them to go through all this stuff with red tape with the government for mushroom
Find
housing.
out it wasn't just, there wasn't a market for it.
Oh, it'd be great. They're like, nobody wants a mushroom house. But like Bert said, you want these new villains. But when you get them and they're so generic that you already scope it out of, oh, this guy's going to be that, that's not really what you want. You don't want to get these generic people that right away the guy shows up and, oh, this guy's going to be like the cousin, you're like, is that a great villain? It's just going to be, oh, here he goes. I think we've already figured it out. We'll see how it plays out. But
I think Marvel's looking at it this way, or sorry, Disney is looking at it this way. And it's an interesting lens because in this instance, I agree. If you're going to create a villain or a hero, you should at least ask yourself the question of, could this hero or villain carry a movie? Could this be the villain for a movie? Does it have enough gravitas, enough, storyline, enough things around it? And you don't have to have, of course, everyone meet that criteria. But if you are spending 29 issues to build up a villain, And then that villain comes out, and it's like Mushroom Man's not going to be a carrying villain in a Spider-Man movie. Then you're wasting your time. What are you doing?
Yeah, but Marvel also, like, you have Storm, and Storm, that comic ends by just having a bunch of spread things and like, oh, by the way, Storm wins. And then it's over. You just spent all this time reading, and then it just comes up of, hey, most things end up this way, but this time Storm wins, and over at the end. And
it's confusing. I also like mushrooms on a burger.
I do too.
That's a good.
Yeah.
Just think if you could just go and you're in your little cubby and you scrape off some mushrooms off your wall, put it on the burger, it'd be awesome.
The cousin, we'll see. There's too many heavy right-wing writers in comics right now. That's the problem.
I think there's definitely some comic creators that could probably scrape mushrooms off their wall for their burger.
Yeah.
Man, I have a theory, Perch, that if Paul did not exist up until recently, that people would be talking about Ricardo being the most hated new character in comic books in the last 10 years instead of Paul.
Yeah, that checks out.
That dude is so weird. Like, he nails Aunt May a couple of times, and now he gets to control her life and tell her how she feels about Peter, and she talks crap about him 24/7 about how he's so unreliable and she can't believe a word he says, all because of this dickhead.
He might be the real villain. Right?
A lot of these characters should be the real villain. I don't like Ricardo and Paul, and I like that. Like, they could have absolutely salvaged Paul in an amazing way. Just make Paul like a sadistic serial killer villain. Make Paul the whatever it was the recent Carnage villain.
I'll give him a symbiote.
Torment.
Yeah,
Torment. Yeah.
Make him come full circle with his dad's. His dad was a big bad. He could have been a legacy for a big bad. He's Rabin.
And people hated that character. So you make that character kind of scummy, unlikable serial killer type character with a symbiote. Yeah, that would make money.
And then he goes after Dylan for calling him a cuck to his face for 6 months straight, but he couldn't do anything about it because he was trying to pretend to be a human being.
Oh, so many good things. Yeah.
But I don't like Ricardo at all because he's so controlling. The other thing I hate about him, Perch, is he wears his kangaroo hat backwards like he's Samuel L. Jackson, even though he's in his 80s.
I don't know. I mean, it's funny. A lot of people ask me questions about Spider-Man. Like, that's probably the number one thing I get mail into my channel on, and probably one of my least favorite Marvel titles. I mean, overall, and I'm talking like for 40 years, right? I'm an X-Men guy. I've been an Avengers guy, but Spider-Man is fascinating, and the passions of the people who want to collect it and read it and learn it, and that, like, people are so into the lore, and it is confusing why Marvel doesn't go. We have this fan base that is probably more wired into anything we will do than any other character, including Batman. Why not take that one book, and just constant fan service? Just like get one bankable comic book that just plays to that audience and do all your experimental shit on everything else. It's weird to me.
It's all making sense. I remember you were shitting all over the Nick Spencer Spider-Man run that I thought was pretty darn good, is because you just don't like Spider-Man.
No, I like Spider-Man. It's not. I'm an X-Men guy. I have all the X-Men. I actually have all the Spider-Man too. But I am an X-Men guy. I'm an Avengers guy. Spider-Man's just not at the top of my list. And the Nick Spencer run.
Avengers over Spider-Man?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a fucking hot take there. Avengers have only had like 3 or 4 good runs,
but they've been good runs. I like the concept. I'm talking concept. I like the concept of the characters. There's been some great Spider-Man runs. Kraven's Last Hunt is in my top 10 of all storylines that have existed. I think it's great. There's definitely good things, but the point I'm making is that just Spider-Man is the easiest layup for a comic publisher to just give the fans what they want on that character. You don't need to make it complicated. And you can experiment all over the place everywhere else, but Spider-Man is just so easy to print money.
Yeah.
Example, Ultimate Spider-Man, which was pretty not well paced, but it kind of gave you the elements that you claimed that you wanted. It didn't give you them all the time, and people will argue the crap out of you and say, no, it was an amazing comic book just because they got a few elements that they liked.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at, and by the way, as an X-Men fan, somebody put in the chat, X-Men is right there at the bottom. X-Men has been a book you've suffered with for many years, and they just screw that book up. And in fairness, it's hard to get right. You've got a lot of different characters, a lot of different things. It's a much tougher book. Spider-Man, I mean, Christ, you could go 5 years just having him kind of swing out and fight a villain for 6 issues and go home and bang Mary Jane. And like, it's easy.
You could just hire David Michelini back and like just do that for 5 years. And you'd get Spider-Man stories where, you know, there's some stuff going on. Maybe Mary Jane is back on Secret Hospital. I don't know. But, you know, you'd get some stories that you actually cared about.
You know, people don't need, this is the hot take. I don't think people need or want Spider-Man to really evolve much as a character. They want to have a reliable thing that they can pick up and read that is what it is. With X-Men, Avengers, even Batman, you want to see some developments. You want to see maybe Bruce get together with Catwoman, whatever. There's a lot of different things people may want in the fandom. With Spider-Man, I think the needs are really, really low. They want to have a character who shows up, fights his rogues gallery, go home and screws Mary Jane. That's really all people fundamentally want. And it's just...
He really cares about his aunt.
Eat sweet cakes.
She should be dead. Like they never should have brought
She's
her
like
back.
380 years old for crying out loud. I will say about that, the Nick Spencer run, like it was okay. It gets better and better with every Zeb Wells and now Kelly issue. I mean, seriously, it's like, man, those were the good old days. And I've even seen some people who didn't even like the Nick Spencer run. They're like, yeah, that was pretty good.
That is Marvel right there. Because like I miss the old Teeny Howard days compared to what
like compared to Gale and Eve. Oh gosh, you're kind of right.
Look, you compare Eve Ewing's run to Vita's run. I'm sorry,
you know,
all day long, every day.
It's weird because I think Alex Packendale, that entire bunch, understands the assignment. You know, even more so than Jed McKay. Write an X book. You know, and it's kind of there. You go. Just add water, and you know, it's. I think he should be writing Uncanny, and there should be less books. But that's just an opinion. Because Gale and Eve, I mean, I know they're trying to push to put them over, but it's these are not worth it. These aren't really good X-Men stories. We all know that. And
I you know, Uncanny is the worst one though. The dialogue from Gale, especially for Rogue and Gambit, is like it's unreadable.
Yeah. No, it's breeding into the other characters. Like Nightcrawler was insufferable this week. And to be just clear, I don't hate Spider-Man. It's not my top 5 books.
Feels like you kind of hate Spider-Man.
There's 5,000 books.
I thought so.
No, it's one of those books where to me it's so easy to just get right. It's way easier than other books.
It's like Batman, and yet you have Batman lose Gotham every weekend, and they just go against it.
Yeah, just it's not that difficult. I don't hate Spider-Man like I hate Arby's. Spider-Man is just simple.
Are you saying Spider-Man is the Arby's of superheroes?
Not at all.
My goodness, no.
My goodness.
Delicious.
And the Mushroom Man is the big Montana?
It's Spore. Spore, damn it. We workshop the hell out of this.
I called him Mushroom Man before he ever called himself Spore. I was like, this guy's coming the Mushroom Man, isn't he?
I haven't read an issue of Amazing Spider-Man in months, so I'm walking into this cold, and I like doing that. I like, like, here, read this for the show. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let me get into it. So, the Pete Woods art was pretty good. I'm pretty, I like that much. It a lot of action. It was very imaginative, but then there's something. I think Kelly nails something here, like with Aunt May and her fainting at the end of it. And it was very like a Silver Agey, Bronze Agey kind of feel to the story, like frail Aunt May once again, like fainting away.
I took it as, oh my goodness, I've been outed as this enormous liar my entire life. How can I make this about me being the victim? Let me fall down on the ground.
Ricardo jumps in and starts some bullshit.
But also the when Marvel just retreading things. Didn't Mark Miller do this in Trouble? 20 odd years ago?
Not exactly, but by the way, and Miller, love him to death. He denies that story ever existed. He will pretend he has no idea what is being talked about there. And it is comical. Like
he's blocked it out like a molestation.
That never happened. That is a multiverse. That was Epic Comics. It's nothing continuity. No.
He has an amazing memory for all the books he's written and other books. Like he's an encyclopedia, and you talk about that. He's like, oh, I don't. That one doesn't really ring a bell. That I'm like, that was your book. Oh no. Oh yeah. I guess I remember that. Yeah, like, you dick. You'd remember what you did there.
I don't know. I think that like after you get to a point of being so prolific, there are stories that like you took that were like work for hire that you weren't particularly invested in. It was just a gig that you forget, because I had so many. You talk about like a guy like Buzz Dixon who had like a long and storied career in the industry, comic and animation, and I was talking to him about like a Darkwing story that he wrote, and I'm like, you're credited as writing this story, like you created this character in this story, and he's like, I don't think I did. And he's like, I don't even remember writing that story. And I'm like, you're credited here. And then I even like talked to Jesse Post, and he's like, yeah, no, Buzz wrote that. I'm like, Buzz has no memory.
I did an interview with Matt Kent, and we were talking about his Ninjak run. It was talking about the silent issue. He goes, there was a silent issue with Ninjak? I was like, yeah, you fucking wrote it. It was really good. He's like, I did that? I was like, yeah, it's like issue number 12. Like, had no recollection that he wrote that book.
Yeah.
Shit happens, I guess.
Well, there are too many mushrooms.
Maybe. But Waydog is saying that in Gail Simone's Uncanny book, they're now calling Nightcrawler Crawler.
Not now. This has been going for a bit.
God.
Why wouldn't they just call him Kurt? That's even shorter.
Exactly. That's his nickname, Kurt or Nightcrawler.
I have to dig it out of the pile here and look at X-Men. I mean, again, I'm the guy like a dumb sucker who's buying every issue to complete a run because I'm that guy.
I'm only reading the X-Men by Jed McKay because I find it the least odious.
Has he been excommunicated and defrocked for like taking on the Krakoan religion? Wasn't he a Catholic priest once?
Is Crawler a better nickname than Fuzzy Elf? Because they used to call him that too.
Fuzzy
Elf is
or
better.
Just Elf.
Elf is better. No, it's throughout the whole book. This book features Monet quite a bit more. Quicksilver makes an appearance. You have a couple different characters that show up. Banshee is there, and Gale is just spreading to every character just weird ass nicknames, crazy.
Quicksilver is QS, right?
Yeah, the villain shows up. I mean, listen to this. This is the first dialogue from the villain in this comic, and the villain goes, Monet, Yvette, Clarice, Maria, Therese, St. Croix. You are a twosome mouthful. What the fuck are you saying? Like, what do you do?
I don't know. I hate Gail's writing so much. She's way past her expiration date.
I don't know who in the world. Imagine editing this thing. It's just a.
Imagining letting
it must be an easy job.
Process and be like, you know what? Fuck it. I got no notes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's happening. I think it's just like because it's one of those writers that'll get you fired.
That's Cebulski, right? No, that's Brevoort. Brevoort's doing.
That's Brevoort, yeah. Brevoort's doing anything. It's New Mutants showed up at our door, fresh as peach pie from the oven. Like what? What's wrong with you?
Was that
Perch?
That had to be Rogue, right?
That's Rogue, yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, Perch, it's prettier than a little red wagon going up a hill.
I mean, what is this folksy? Like, what happened to you? Like,
Ground Bear.
Well, you got to understand, there's not 40 years of these characters speaking to draw their personalities from. No. So, you just got to make up stuff like peach pie.
This isn't. I mean, Gale didn't write this way before like this. This is
dialogue. Snappy dialogue used to be her strong suit as a writer.
Yeah. Nightcrawler is referred to as Elf, Fuzzy Elf, Crawler. This is over 3 pages, by the way.
Let's call him Kurt and Nightcrawler. This is my favorite character too. My favorite X-Men character.
Jesus Christ, it just gets worse and worse. I need to stop reading.
Yeah, you should definitely stop. It's
stop
like
picking at that
wound. Video for the Marine or something, dude.
I got a feeling when Perch does a video about this, he's not going to be the calm grandpa.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, calm grandpa. Christ, how old do people think I am?
I don't know. You're gonna be like the drunken uncle. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna tell you something about this piece of crap.
I used to be the drunken uncle. That was a different group of YouTubers who were accusing me of being a constant alcoholic, which was
those were my favorites. Man.
Yeah.
It is weird though, Perch. I'm like, oh, I'm not all that old. And then I realized that both of my brothers, my older and my younger brother, are both grandpas. I'm like, maybe I am old.
I got a long ways to go for that. Or at least I better.
Yeah, I was going to say, you better knock on wood, dude. We also had some more Marvel news. We got a new Avengers team. We talked about it a little bit earlier, kind of going back to more like the Brian Michael Bendis post Avengers Disassembled days for this pre and post apocalypse or Armageddon universe, I guess is what it is. What are you thinking, Jim? I know you're not a big Marvel fan, but does throwing Spider-Man and Wolverine, two of your premier solo characters, but then some more street level guys like Luke Cage and Daredevil with Captain Marvel do it for you? Does this get you excited for Armageddon and what's going to come out of this?
No, that's my answer. Yeah, it does. The Avengers book to me has been so mid. I don't really care leading into this, even if it is a different thing. I just don't have any hype at all. I don't really care. And it's just another event deal that I will probably avoid. So,
what do you think about being the Earth's mightiest survivors now?
Ooh. Yeah. Again, it doesn't excite me. I barely even have, the only reason I know anything about this is from you sending the article for this. I haven't really kept up on it. Some guy got a hold of me and wanted to review the whole event, and I told him, no, I don't really want to, and he got mad at me. And, yeah, I have a Marvel podcast, and I can't even be bothered with any of this. So the Marvel podcast comes out like once every 5 weeks now. This is when I can find a book that I like to talk about. Yeah,
that is an enormous issue. You've got like 2 ongoings from Marvel that are worth your time and investment in Hulk and Punisher, and otherwise it's
pretty much
it's all miss and barely any hit.
Well, Marvel has some good limited series going on right now. They've we've seen the limited series, short series in the X universe is better than the mainline books. I think at the moment we've seen more hits there. But this Avengers thing, and I am honestly surprised. I should know better than this. Yeah, the disassembled storyline that led into New Avengers was in 2004. So we're talking 22 years ago. This is what they're going to. And I think the question for this team, I mean, it's fundamentally going back to that era. Is this, can Zdarsky pull off what Bendis pulled off 22 years ago? Because as much as people, shit on Bendis today, the Bendis who came into the Avengers in 2004, 2005, that run was terrific for Marvel.
He's unquestionably the hottest writer in all the industry.
At that time, 100% he was. And then, Marvel's firing on a lot of good cylinders. You had him, you had Fraction coming into the picture, you had Miller on Civil War, you had a lot of pretty strong writing.
Like Warren Ellis on Thunderbolts, and then loved that.
You had a lot of good stuff happening. So now I 100% understand why Marvel would want to go back to that era and recreate it. And I also get, certain elements of the story. You want to have Captain Marvel in there because you need to rehab her a little bit. She hasn't really done much in the last couple of years. I think the last solo book was Kelly Thompson's, right? That was ongoing for her.
Avengers or
Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel.
No, there was an Alyssa Wong run there.
Yeah, that ended at 10. The Alyssa Wong 10.
Yikes!
Right.
It was bad.
Oof.
So now we're getting this. They're going to try and rehab Carol a little bit, bring her back to more of the street level stories, which is also where she sold better. You got Daredevil having some prominence with Disney Plus. You bring him in. I mean, I get the lineup. Luke Cage haven't done much with him for a little bit, so it all makes sense. Kind of refresh some of the characters who have their own solo books like Thor and Hulk and so on. So I totally get the reasoning behind it. I just don't know if Zdarsky can do a Bendis with this. Can he create a compelling storyline? If you look at his recent Batman, he didn't pull this bit off very well. So can he do it here?
He had a good Daredevil run with the artist Marco Cicchetto, who's going to be with him on this Avengers book.
Which helped.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to bringing the Avengers at least back to Earth. With the whole McKay thing with the Impossible City, it got way too big. I like the Avengers when they're in the mansion. I like Jarvis. I like ball busting Avengers. I like when they like bust each other's chops and they're like.
I like when the Avengers teamed up 2 or 3 at a time to take on a specific enemy.
Yeah,
and then the whole team got together if something really big happened.
But yeah, I like things more just like grounded. I guess I like the Avengers Mansion. I over the island anyway. You know what I mean? And especially that Impossible City thing. That was overpowered. You know what I mean? That was just too much. In a way. And so this seems a bit more. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a chance. Maybe.
I mean, look, it could be good. It's set up to be what it is. I think again, going back to this era makes sense. You try and narrow it down, that sounds fine. I'm interested to read it. I do love I like Zdarsky and Chichetto together. That's a good combo. When you have a good writer artist combo, you tend to get better results. So looking forward to that. It's just like I mentioned earlier, it's on a ticking clock, because Disney's not going to want the Avengers. I mean, think about this. At the same time Doomsday comes out, which will feature all the characters in the MCU, like just all in a giant multiversal Doom threat, destroying all of humanity and history. You're going to have a street level team with Spider-Man and Daredevil on it. I think that's going to be bizarre.
Yeah. Do you think they'll be able to figure out the Wolverine problem, where they got the Wolverine solo book? They've also got Wolverine on Uncanny X-Men, but he's also going to be on Avengers. They can't do that, right?
I think they're going to basically put a stake in the ground that the Wolverine character in the Avengers book is a Wolverine you should care about, and the rest are all filler.
So, Dylan, you are a massive Wolverine fan. You have not been enjoying the Saudi Ahmed stuff. I'm assuming that you've been escaping the Gail Simone things. Is Wolverine enough of a draw to have you check out an Avengers #1 and see what happens?
I'll read the first issue because Chip tends to do better with Marvel, and I love Chichetto. He's great. So it's got a decent creative team. The Avengers team itself is kind of weird. Feels very underpowered, but I'll check out the first issue, see how it is. I don't have high expectations, but hopefully it's good.
Well, there's going to be a 6th member, and I'm assuming that they're going to be some type of technology character, or somebody that can fly at least, right?
It's the Captain America dude. It's the new one.
Oh, Chip's
I thought he was the villain
guy?
I thought he was the guy that was going to kill everybody.
Maybe I think it's him, or it's. I think we're seeing this coming out of that run or the Wolverine Road to Armageddon run. That's what I believe the character is, based on the silhouette and some of the other early art.
I was thinking it might be Iron Lad or something. They got to grab somebody from that Ultimate Universe 2.0, right?
Aren't they going to make Simon Williams race swap to?
They already did that
with the show, and because I'm looking at this team and it's like there's not a lot of diversity on this team. So I mean, seriously, that's my first thought. Is like boss. You're gonna you give it to a girl boss, but you're gonna
got a handicap character.
Avengers so white.
Avengers too white. Here you go. Hashtag Avengers so white. Look, yeah, totally.
Well, Luke Cage is there.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
What are you doing?
Already dismissing Luke Cage.
Yeah, I love
he's
Luke
the
Cage.
mayor. He's in power.
Although he's not really Luke Cage anymore. He's like whatever Brian Bendis turned him into. Like soy-based Luke Cage or
Mr.
something.
Mr. Jones. More like it.
I don't know. We shall see. How many of the Avengers do you think they're going to kill off, Sully? It says the Earth's mightiest survivors. I'm assuming that means, Cap is dead.
Who's not there? We don't have Cap. We don't have Iron Man.
Iron Man's dead. Thor's gone, exiled to Asgard or something.
Ooh. No Hawkeye either on that cover. Either one of them.
They don't care about Hawkeye anymore.
They do a triangle in the logo. If you look at the top, there's the Avengers logo is actually cut in an interesting way from the promo art. I don't think it's Hawkeye, but there's like an arrow there.
Could it be Ultimate Hawkeye?
Maybe Ultimate Hawkeye. Yeah, there we go. That's what we need.
That guy's a murderous bastard. He will literally kill anybody. So what do you think, Dylan? You're more of a DC guy. Do you think Perch is right that the Avengers are better than Spider-Man?
Now that is not what I said, by the way. But
you said Avengers was way better than Spider-Man, and you liked it.
What I said. I said historically I've cared about that book more. That's different.
I mean, I guess if you're going like the past 20 years, I'd agree. Neither have been great, but Spider-Man's been so bad. That's whenever I get that DM from you for the topics and I see Amazing Spider-Man at the top, I want to kill myself. I hate this. Anytime Amazing Spider-Man's at the top, it's like, why are we talking about this dog shit book? Every time it's the top, it's like, oh, hey, we're going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man. Let's go around the room. Hey, this issue was dog shit. All right, next topic.
I tried the most important character in the entire universe.
I tried to get out of today's
show,
Dylan. I tried to get out. I was like, I can't talk about this.
Understandable, yeah. Every time, because I don't read Amazing Spider-Man. The only time I read it is when Wes has that topic. Every time I dip my toe back in, I read it. It's like, oh wow, it's still terrible. Who would have thought? And this time, I don't even get.
Kelly run is a marked improvement over the Zeb Wells stuff.
I still don't. I don't even get Ed McGuinness art this time. That was at least the bright spot before. And I generally like Pete Woods, but I don't know if it was like the inker or the
Pete Woods.
But I thought this looked pretty bad. And I'm a Pete Woods fan. Like he drew part of my favorite Superman story, Superman Up, Up, and Away. But for some reason, this, again, I don't know, colors, inker, whatever, it didn't look very good.
You know what I noticed this week? And this might be controversial to you, Dylan. I thought Jorge Jimenez on Batman didn't look nearly as good and clean as he normally does.
I thought it looked really good. I just thought his Catwoman looked a little off, but that was only like one panel.
Especially the scene with Alfred and Batman in the Batcave. I thought it just didn't look nearly as good as Jorge's normal work.
It's scratchier. I totally agree.
Yeah. Like better than Ryan Sook did the previous issue, but not up to Jorge's normal level. And Jim got yelled at for that hot take. Did you, Jim?
By whom?
Jim's getting yelled at by his wife.
Oh, in real life.
No, Jim's getting yelled at by the ghost.
Maybe he's being haunted right now. But I thought it looked. So you noticed it too, person.
Oh, 100%. Did I'm trying to look at the creative team. I can't find the comic. Does he have an inker or is he doing it himself? Or
normally he does it all himself, as far as I know, right?
It's a lot. It is markedly different. It's the line work is thinner. It's more sketchier. It doesn't look the same. I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure he does do his own work. But it feels like there's somebody different on colors, or he was rushed, or maybe it was.
Yeah, Tamu Mori on colors. It doesn't say anyone for inker, so I'm assuming he did it himself.
It's
maybe it was the colorist.
Yeah, something's different about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that Jim and I weren't crazy. And somebody else noticed it as well.
It's still fine art, and you see scenes, and I'm going off memory here, but as I recall, I remember thinking this as I was reading it, and there's the page where he runs into Catwoman, and that page looks really solid. It looks like his typical type work with just kind of the shadowing of the character. But then you get other scenes where he's in the boardroom, and granted, these are more boring scenes to draw, but it's just a lot. It's just a lot thinner. It doesn't look like his normal work.
I agree.
It's not a disaster, by the way. It's not like the whole thing's off the rails, but it's just there is a difference.
Yeah. RateX7 says it was dumb and lazy idea to put Wolverine and Spider-Man on the Avengers when Bendis did it. It is a dumb, lazy idea with this new team. I agree that it's a lazy idea, but I don't agree that it's a dumb idea. I think it's a really good idea. If you need to make the Avengers important and matter, you have to have the most important characters that people care about on the book. It's an automatic elevation, right, Perch?
Yeah, they got to do something, because I mean the challenge is, if you look at the last couple of Avengers runs, they've done things like have Ghost Rider, have Black Panther, or things on the book. Those characters have cooled off significantly from when they're at their height at the MCU, and then those comics didn't ever really take. So, if you want the Avengers to be the center book, and Disney wants that, and Marvel wants that, then you're going to have to put the big characters on it, and that's going to be Spider-Man and Wolverine. And so if you're kind of filling out this roster, I guarantee this is the way it went down. They said, we'll put Spider-Man on here, we'll put Wolverine on here. They're survivors. It's going to make sense with the theme and everything else. They're kind of outsiders, so we're going to build around them. Then, let's bring back Luke Cage. He was part of that Bendis era, so I'll give that kind of memory. Hey, there's a chance to rehab Captain Marvel a little bit. Let's put her in here and give her something more grounded. And then, Daredevil's getting some good play right now with the TV show. So let's put him in that. And he kind of fits the others. And so you get the team assembled that way. And it has the feeling of a very different Avengers team, which is what Bendis did too. So they don't have the Spider-Woman this time. Instead, they're going to have this other new character.
But I do agree that it's lazy. The proper way to do it would be to invest in Iron Man and Thor and try to get them rehabbed, and maybe Black Panther, to where people are excited, and then you launch the book and they want to see what's going to happen, but they don't have time for that.
They don't. I mean, and you could do that in parallel. So you could be having that happening in the background while you get them there, because this is just like the original New Avengers. It ultimately led to the Mighty Avengers and other things. Right. So you could still go there. I think the lazy part of it is we had One World Under Doom, which was a giant planet shaping threat that nobody gave a shit about. and had no impact whatsoever. And so now we're going to Armageddon, which is the Red Hulk doing some shenanigans and everything else. But it's like the lazy part is they've blown 2 or 3 world-shaping events, going back to AVX, to the Blood Hunt, to
like a half a decade's worth of story in status quo.
Oh yeah, like nothing. If you look also what was really successful in the Bendis era, you had House of M, which was substantial of what that did and what it created. Then you went into Civil War. Then you went into Secret Invasion.
Yep.
And over those 4 years or so, and World War Hulk was in there. You had the punch of events that actually built this stuff up. There has been no run like that at Marvel for the last 5-6 years with your events.
No, not really. But I can completely understand why they're doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
And he says Daredevil, Spider-Man, and Wolverine shouldn't ever be Avengers. Or he just said should be Avengers. The ever is implied.
I like the pairing of Logan and Peter because they just bounce off each other very well. They're very good friends. And I think they're a strong duo. And to have them in the background, that's where you're gonna have your opportunities to have those ball busting moments because they bounce off each other just ridiculously well. I like that pairing a lot.
Yeah, they had a really good Spider-Man and Wolverine book that nobody read apparently, but it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. They've had books like over the past 20 years or more, you know what I mean, and team ups. And I've always liked Wolverine and Spider-Man together. It just works for me.
Don't know that Daredevil should ever be an Avengers though. He does feel so
they're all
street level.
loners.
Spider-Man, you can throw him in space. You can throw Wolverine in something enormous, and he kind of just fits anywhere like a Batman. But Daredevil is a little bit more unique, basically to one setting to me.
Mm-hmm. But they're all three of these characters are loners, and now you're pushing all the loners onto a team. So it's like it is a team of misfits,
Survivors, dude. It's a team of
hilarity ensues.
That's the whole premise. I mean, that's kind of the Avengers when it first started too. You had a bunch of loners who worked alone, minus Ant-Man and Wasp, and now they're doing this, and they're trying to tap into stuff. Look, I'd love to see it, but everybody's been Avenger. If you were reading the Avengers in the 80s, and Aaron's old like me, so he will remember this. Yeah, there you go. I'm pulling you in, buddy.
Which kind of grandpa is Aaron?
The bearded grandpa. I don't know.
The jolly kind that gives you a sip of his beer. Go to the fridge and get me a beer, kid.
I'm the surly grandpa. I determined this yesterday. Is I have so I was driving around with my friend, and we were driving through this neighborhood, and she was yelling at houses, not actually yelling out the window at them, but just getting mad at houses because they weren't decorated properly or they the yards were shabby. And she goes, "I'm sorry, I'm turning into a curmudgeon." And I was like, "Oh no, I'm right there with you." I'm like, "People used to have standards, So I'm a little bit surly.
I just, if you were reading the Avengers or comics in the 80s, the cardinal rule was Spider-Man never joined any of the teams. He wanted to be on the Fantastic Four, but he didn't fit there. He wanted to be in the Avengers, he didn't fit there. He wanted the check, but that was kind of the running joke for decades, and that's why him being placed on the new Avengers with Bendis was such a shocking moment. But since that time, I mean, who hasn't been an Avenger?
Well, I mean, technically, the entire universe basically was kind of like the Justice League right now.
Yeah.
Perch, who is the worst Avenger of all time? And follow-up question: why is it Silverclaw?
Oh, yeah, Silverclaw is it? Yeah, for sure. I almost don't count that. I mean, that character was unorganic and stupid.
And he says Wolverine should only be an X-Men ever.
Yeah, I mean that's what we all believed in through the 80s and the 90s. That's what it was. But that's not the world we play in today. But
I'm fine with the Bendis run having him and Spider-Man on the team just because of the condition or the situation that the universe was in at that time. It made sense that you could put them both on that team because it was kind of like a team that was on the run. But as mainline Avengers, I don't think they work.
No, but this is a team on the run, so they're going to do that.
Yeah, but it's a team on the run being written by Zdarsky.
Yeah. No, that's what all of this comes down to: is can Zdarsky pull off what Bendis did back in that run. And again, I like the Zdarsky, by and large. There were some flaws in it, but the Zdarsky Daredevil run with Gigetto was a fun run for a lot of those books. Not all of it, but for, good part of that run was fun. Maybe he taps into that again. Who knows?
Marvel 2099 says the problem with ASM 30 is it shows how easy it is to retcon decades of canon. When it doesn't go over, then they'll just retcon the retcon. Turns out the cousin was created by the Jackal or another villain to mess with Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Yeah. That's what they're going to do, though, right? This isn't going to work.
Yeah, remember his parents have been back, and by the way, we're doing another secret sister, secret cousins, secret aunt.
Yeah.
Like I'm so tired. It's so overdone. It's all been played out. It's never satisfying. Can you name one secret sibling or secret family relation that has worked out and been interesting?
Yeah,
there's got to be one. I can figure it out.
Well, get back to me, Wes. When you...
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it. You guys better talk.
Dick Grayson's sister.
That was terrible.
I know. I'm just...
I don't know. I mean, the closest you probably get there, which is just the Superman family and some of the stuff they've been able to do with kind of the bigger House of L type lore. You've been able to do stuff there that have been interesting, but by and large, no.
That stuff's interesting, but also it's not like secret family members and like way in the future, and it's like
it's in the future instead of the past. At least.
Well, as somebody pointed out in the chat, Supergirl was kind of that secret cousin for a while, or at least in how she was built out. It's like, here's somebody you didn't know you have, but we're going way back at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Can we keep it to our lifetimes?
No, I mean, yeah, Luke Skywalker. There you go. That's what
oh man, that was not a good retcon because it meant he made out with his sister.
Well, I don't think there was tongue.
But I made it great.
You don't know that there wasn't.
It definitely looks like
it. I mean, and Han was being smug, so you gotta show him something, like.
Yeah, it was a too long, uncomfortable, closed mouth kiss to have with your brother. But
he didn't reach around and grope her ass. It was fine.
No.
Thanksgiving at Sully's house.
They're saying Damian Wayne, but Damian Wayne wasn't a character that was around, and then you realized he wasn't there for a long time, and all of a sudden he just popped out, right? Maybe.
Yeah, that may.
I mean, you can buy that. You can buy that, somebody slept with somebody. And by the way, and this is your son or this is your daughter. You can.
Yeah, it's very plausible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's hard to have a sister that you just never knew about.
Ask Luke Skywalker. Yeah, right.
This entire, I mean, look, unfortunately, what this character is, it's what we talked about earlier. We're getting to the issue 1000, and the theme they want to explore is what would it look like if there was another Parker child or sibling or who mirrored Peter, who didn't have the classic Uncle Ben sentence that has guided the last 1,000 issues of comics. And so it's what does it look like when you have a family member who didn't get the great power, great responsibility speech, and how does that set up a new arch nemesis type character for Peter, which does feel like where they're going with this whole character.
He's going evil?
Oh,
it should be Ricardo. Ricardo's the evil one.
No, well, maybe they're working together.
He should be the new Vulture.
Yeah, the new Vulture. They're Vulcan. Yeah, no, Vulcan was terrible though. Yeah. No, that's
definitely. We have a little bit of time for one extra thing. We kind of got into this a little bit, but Rook Exodus comes back this week, Dylan, for issue number 10. I'm sorry, Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, and it's fucking great. It's beautifully illustrated. It's a cool story. You get some origin background stuff on Stag, who is the best warden out there. He's got the coolest look. He's a samurai. He's got horns and all that kind of stuff. And it's so fucking good.
It's great. It's sadly the release schedule for this book is tough. It's rough.
The next issue is September.
Yep. We took that big break after the first arc. It's like, all right, so we're gonna get the second arc consecutively, right? And then we didn't. This needs to go to just be collected in trade. That's what this needs to be.
They should do it like Criminal.
Yes, exactly. It needs to be in trade. It doesn't need to be issues. It doesn't work. Getting like 24 pages every 6 months is not not
Reading this as a floppy is so unsatisfying.
Blue ball case in comic books.
Because I'm fine with no backup artists. I'm fine with this. This is Jason Fabok's book, but you can't be doing it as a floppy. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. But it is great when you get to read it. It's so good. But then getting to the end and saying issue 11 September.
I know,
it's beyond parody. It's crazy.
Like, what about a quarterly? Remember back in the day, they used to have quarterlies, and they were a little thicker. You know, give us like maybe 8 more pages and put it out every 4 months. You know, or 3 months rather, because that's quarterly. 4.
Jason Fabok might die if he has to do that.
Yeah, he had to do extra.
I don't think that works.
I'm just thinking out loud because it's like it doesn't work as a floppy, as a periodical, a serialized periodical, and
I will admit this.
Yeah,
the story isn't so all over the place with so many desperate, elements to it, like Hush 2, to where I can't remember or even understand what the fuck is happening. I basically understand that there's a fucking spider guy there, and he's got to get out of the web.
Yep.
Thankfully.
Yeah, you don't forget everything in between every 4 months when an issue comes out.
But it's beautiful. I mean, I made a joke in our chat, like as soon as I opened up the book and saw that double page spread with all the Japan and all the cherry blossoms and the couple, I was like, the lapse was almost forgivable. Seeing the quality of art, it is just so impeccable. Like the level of detail, and this is good stuff. But then comes the intermittency, and just like that's what really harshes it, though. It really does, because it's under the guise of being a monthly. Isn't there like a promise there kind of thing, or like, aren't we supposed to be getting this monthly? Isn't that the
Ghost Machine never made that promise. Their most consistent book is Redcoat, which is like every 2 months.
No, Redcoat will go like 9 months straight and then take a month off.
No, Redcoat went several where it was every 2 months, and then they went like, I think issues 16 to 17 was like January to April. So there were, but compared to the other Ghost Machine books, it felt so consistent. It was like, wow, this book's coming out very consistently.
That's the thing, Perch. Ghost Machine is like the comic reader's line. If you don't care about variant covers and all that other bullshit, you just want the best stories, that's the line that you go to, because the quality is basically there throughout the entire thing. But they're so inconsistent on delivering on a monthly book.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ghost Machine, I've said this before, that one, they need a marketing department, and they need to be able to call the ball on what they're doing here, because I think they do have great creative talent. They have good writing, good art. I really enjoy their stories. I just think it's a really good package there. But they leave the readers and maybe the retailers, just as importantly, wondering, like, when are these books going to come out? How do I market them? What do I do with them? And there's a lot of retailers who really like them. They're marketable, creative names that they can get people excited about. So they're easy to sell. But if you don't have any sense of the publishing schedule or what's going on, that is death to a retailer more than almost anything else. You need to be able to count on when stuff's going into a box. You have customers coming and going. You need to understand. So if Ghost Machine came out and said, look, this is going to be a quarterly book. We're going to put out a bunch of books. So there's going to be a Ghost Machine book out every month. Just, some are every other month, some are quarterly, whatever. Here's the schedule. Here's what we got. And this is a way for you as a store to market this, to get in the hands of customers, start printing little cards so that your readers know when the books are coming. Like, that stuff would go a huge way for them. But right now they're leaving a lot of retailers confused.
Hyde Street, The Butcher of Hyde Street, is the best story going on in comic books right now.
It's incredible.
Not even close. Cool. It's amazing.
Do you guys say, someone in the chat says Rook Exodus like Batman Hush 2? Release schedule wise, yes. Quality wise, no. It's an incredible comic that you should be reading. You shouldn't be reading Hush 2.
Yeah, Hush 2 is awful. Rook Exodus is great.
It's really good.
It's just you're just sitting there waiting 6 months between issues.
And Geiger's on the up and up now too. Geiger's been incredible these last couple issues. It's gotten back to its flow state.
Yeah.
It is. They do good books. It's a really good company, but it's kind of the classic company if you got a bunch of really talented creators together and they're off making books, and you need a businessman in there who's
like
helping.
The original Image.
Yeah, I mean,
better stories though.
Better stories, better shipping schedule. It's not at that level, but man, if you think about, they could go so far if they just did a few small things to get the shops engaged. They would do great. But right now, it's I've talked to a lot of different retailers who just have no idea of how to promote their books, and that is, you need that in the store.
Yeah, and the only thing like really it's consistent is the guidebook, which is the one thing I'm not all that interested in.
Yeah, which is too early anyway. I mean, they're fun books, but way too early to be putting that out.
Yeah, Aaron is just waiting for the day he can get his hands on a Rook character, right, dude?
Action figure wise, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I would love to have action figures of those characters.
Like the most toyetic, isn't that the word you guys use?
Yeah, toyetic.
Toyetic comic
They
characters.
did a Junkyard Joe figure.
Yeah,
That's the only one they've done so far, though. Yeah.
Where'd they do that? I didn't even see that.
I don't know who made it, but they did it.
Dylan, did you see that I sent you on Twitter?
Yes, that Jonah Hex. Yeah.
Oh
with the
yeah.
general.
Now that's cool. It comes with the horse. I like
Yeah.
that part. Yeah,
That looked really cool.
that's a really cool
I
action.
gotta
figure
get that.
set.
It's Mezco is Junkyard Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So it's probably not out yet. It's been announced, but it'll be 3 years before it's out.
It's.
I
What
think
does it say?
I feel like it already came out,
Yeah.
but I could be wrong because I remember they talked about it a while ago. I remember seeing it a while ago, so I don't know.
I think it is out. It sounds like if you order it off of their website, it'll be sent to you.
Oh, that's good. Because usually Mezco will, like at least in their 1/12 series, they'll announce
That's it.
things and they'll take pre-orders for it, and then like it'll be like 3 years later, and you're like, "Where's my pre-order? I don't even have that credit card anymore."
So yeah,
That's how I feel
it
about
did
Rook
already
X.
come out. I see it. Yeah, it did already come out.
Yeah. So if you didn't check out Rook Exodus or you forgot it came out this week, definitely go do that because it's a really good book. And I have a feeling we're probably going to be bringing that up again right now as we do comic book recommendations and start wrapping this bad boy up. All right, Sparrow, you might not be recommending any comic books this week. I'm assuming that you're going to be recommending some toys.
Not really. No, I'm I
Recommending He-Man?
yeah, you go see He-Man if you like He-Man. It's worth checking out. It's an entertaining time. I think the only thing that I have to say is that I did get notification that Kneel Before Doomface books have hit port. This is one of the preview ones they sent me. They sent me like one of each to kind of like preview quality a while back. So they have hit port. So as soon as those come in, I will be starting fulfillment.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, I'm psyched. It's been a long road, and I'm glad to finally be able to get the book out to people. So looking forward to it.
Are you recommending anything else? Like maybe the Skeletor popcorn bucket?
I'm recommending you take me off a full screen because I don't want that.
You're so handsome. It's beautiful.
No, I don't need this.
Perch, do you have any big videos or interviews coming up that people need to know about?
Yeah, in the next 2 weeks, there's some pretty big interviews coming, so that'll be exciting. And otherwise, no, I mean, secret. I think I've recorded one video in the last month, new. So a lot of what you're seeing here is very old.
Hey, you've got like 6 months of stuff that you've already got done in the can.
Yeah, in the can. Yeah. Yep.
Very nice. You got any books you want to recommend this week?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked earlier, there's some good books out here. There isn't that standout book. I like JSA. I liked. I like Batman. It was a filler issue. It felt like, but I mean, it was okay. It was an okay read. If I'm looking at DC, that's probably where things are at. The big disappointment on DC was Dead Man, like we talked about earlier. That one, I would have taken it to the bank. That was going to be a great book, and I was shocked it wasn't. I like, fair is fair. I like Fantastic Four right now. I'm enjoying that book. It's weird that this is
some of the worst art I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Very bad art, but the story has been solid. This last arc that they wrapped up with the previous issue was a fun one with Ramos. I thought that was enjoyable. It's weird that this is the same writer who did the One World Under Doom event because they can't be more different in terms of what feel like matters. And then people probably will thoroughly disagree. I like Cyclops. The What If Uncanny X-Men was a fine enough issue. I more or less enjoyed it for what it was. And how I look at that is...
It was a Tales from the Dark Multiverse book.
Yeah, it was. And I like the old what ifs from, again, back the 80s and 90s, where the stories were more or less one and done. They were complete. They really went in a different direction. They weren't doing stupid shit like what if Miles Morales was Thor. There was like an actual story that they were trying to put out there. This isn't like amazing art, but it's not an amazing book you're going to remember forever, but it was a fun enough read. It was fine. My fear is that this is probably going to be the top of what we get from this new what if run they're doing, but we'll see. And then, like I said, Rook Exodus is great. The schedule is thoroughly killing me. And then nobody ever mentions it, but I like to walk into a comic shop and see Gru on the shelf, even though I don't buy it or read it. It makes me happy that it's there. So, be that
like from Despicable Me. Or
no,
like the dude in the helmet.
Gru the Wanderer.
Oh,
yeah.
Gru the Wanderer.
Argonis.
I agree. Like that and Usagi Yojimbo. I feel like that's continuity.
Yeah.
I just want to see it there. It makes me feel happy. I'm comfortable that it's there. It's good. Now that the new Dark Horse Union can kind of steer this stuff, there you go.
You recommended Mandalorian and Grogu?
No, like I said, if you have kids, like my daughters and the younger one liked it a lot. The older one, not as much. But there was a definite shift in that first half of the movie. There's some action, things are moving along. And then the second half of the movie just stops. And
you didn't like them sitting in the woods for 30 minutes and nothing happening?
I don't know why you did that. That was such a weird choice. And I wasn't a fan of Swole Jabba, but my girls liked it a lot. So I think the audience for that is your children.
You didn't like him giving the same speech 3 times? I'm my own man. I'm not my father.
If you're a 12-year-old, you don't mind that, I guess. So.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I got kids and they'll watch the same thing over and over again, like on repeat.
Sure. And I mean, is it really that weird? You have a popular show for them, a bunch of dogs being the police force for a town, and nobody questions that. So that's fine.
Sheriff Labrador is like the freaking the Opie Taylor of modern times. It teaches you all of your valuable life lessons.
Yeah, there you go.
The Andy Griffith Show.
It's fine. I will say, like, all the people who are, you're seeing these people going overboard and nuts about it. Like, people are walking out of that theater. Nobody's walking out of that fucking theater. In the like the Mandalorian, when they had that first scene with the Hat-Ats and in that snow planet, there were people that got up and clapped. Those people are equally stupid, but it's fine.
They're the people that clap when the plane lands.
Yeah, there are those people. Yeah.
Dylan, did you get up and leave, or did you see anybody get up and leave the Mandalorian?
I don't remember seeing anyone get up and leave. No.
People don't get up and leave, especially when they're sitting with their giant, Masters of the Universe castle full of popcorn. Nobody's getting up.
I will say that everybody that I saw coming out of Scary Movie 6 was about 300 pounds or more, Hispanic, and half of the women were wearing pajama bottoms. And
that sounds about right. None of that's surprising to me at all.
No, it's like this. Because I had made comments about like nobody ever went broke, appealing to the lowest common denominator. But I didn't realize how right I was. I was like, oh, this movie is Walmart. It's cinematic Walmart.
Yep.
Are you recommending it?
No.
Oh, well,
it's got Marlon Wayans in it. When have I ever recommended a Marlon Wayans movie?
Was it Meteor Man?
Never.
That was a while ago.
That's Robert Townsend.
I'm trying to suck.
So what do we think? Do we think Jim ever came back and he's just been muted the whole time? I don't think Jim did ever come back. But I know that he what's up?
The ghost got him.
Yeah, the ghost must have got him. But I know that he did recommend the Adventures of Superman, Book of Al, and JSA this week.
Oh, yeah.
So those would be his big recommendations. All right, Sully, it's up to you, buddy. You recommended anything?
I got some funny books this week. Fellow comics aficionado Jeff Hicks and World Class Bullshitters, he's shipping Stealing Solo: The Powers of the Farce, his second issue in his Stealing Solo series. I love the packaging. It looks like an old Kenner action figure blister pack, and it's pretty fun. And it came with some nice swag. Look at this. It's a keychain. It's wicked pissa. I got a couple of misses this week. I spent $25 at my local comic book shop where I go every Wednesday, pick up my pull list, and also buy a couple of things. I only had one thing on my pull list this week, and it was Rook Exodus. And if it wasn't for the pull list, I wouldn't know when it arrived. But yeah, like This was a waste of $7. It's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #1. Bad art, flat story, no hope. But at least I tried something new. Same thing with the Dead Man #1. I had a lot of hope in this. I mean, the art's not that bad. It's got reminiscent of Jean Giraud Mobius a bit in the faces, but it's just so much copy, so much narrative. Look at all you show, don't tell. This is a visual medium, please. I picked up the Hab #1 on Bad Idea. Like I said, I wanted to buy a few #1s. I want to read different stories. I want good comics, and you got to put yourself out there and maybe take a chance and waste $15 on a couple of comics that you're not going to like, but then get rewarded with something like this. It's post-apocalyptic. People wake up in a silo shelter, and then like trying to perpetuate humanity after the big cataclysm. But one thing I love about this is that Bad Idea paper. You're not going to get this kind of paper in the collection. You're only going to get it on these floppies, and it's this like newsprint quality that's a little tactile, and it holds the colors so well. I love these Bad Idea
Creative
books.
team.
I love it. It's what?
Creative team.
The creative team. Oh, the creative team on this is Die Start, Bob Lapham.
Joshua Dysart.
Bob Lapham. It says Bill Sienkiewicz and Phillips. Bill Sienkiewicz does the art, and Jacob Phillips, Bill Crabtree, Matt Hollingsworth did the color art. And it's got Bill Sienkiewicz art. Come on, this stuff's great. This is a really good magazine. Superman House of L. It was really, and this is what I'm talking about. This is a variant cover, and it's just stapled over the A cover. I think that's kind of cheap when it comes to a variant cover, but it is, different art, sure. And my pick of the week, I gotta be Rook Exodus #10. Good stuff. This is I opened this book up and I saw this page, and my heart melted, because this was just, look at the attention to detail, look at the colors, but look at the individual leaves of the apple blossoms, of the cherry blossoms rather, and look at those faces. I mean, what a wonderful book. This thing is still good. It's engaging, and thank goodness for the info dump blurb, or else you'd have I'm an old man. I need that kind of thing. And those are my funny books this week. Thank you so much to everyone out there in TV land and the best chat in the world.
Very nice. Dylan, last but not least, you got any big videos or streams coming up? I know you're still on the Lego Batman game, right?
Yeah, playing that. I have a video going up later today that'll be going about what are the best comics right now that I think are worth putting on your poll. So that'll be out later today. As far
What's
as
number 5?
I didn't put it in a list like as in like ranked. It's just all the books I'd say are like I'm confident in that you should put on your poll.
Very nice. G.I. Joe on there?
Both G.I. Joes are on there.
Smart man.
Yeah, they're both great. As far as comics this week, obviously we have Rook Exodus, which was great, and JSA was really good. I'm really enjoying this Spectre story we got going on, and Book of L has been really good as well. And we're at the penultimate issue. We only got one more, and then we're done with Philip K. Johnson at DC, which makes me very sad. But yeah, so a couple good comics this week. Not as stacked of a week as last week. Last week was great. This week, some good comics, but not an incredible week.
I thought we had 3 more issues left of Book of L. It's only 10?
Pretty sure it's only 10, I think. Unless I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's only 10.
That's disappointing.
Yep.
Because it's getting so good.
Yes. It's great. It's like his Batman Robin was great. And then that ended. It's like,
His Batman and Robin was absolutely fantastic.
Yep. It's the best book of DC.
Waydog says it's 12.
Oh, it's
And
12?
Clone Geek says it's 12.
Oh, I thought it was 10.
Perch, did you say 10 or 12?
10, I think.
It's 10?
Pretty sure.
I thought it was 10 as well.
We'll see.
I just.
But that's
There's no way to find out.
It was solicited at 10 a while back, so maybe that's changed.
But that'll be his last issue with DC until his Marvel exclusives are up, right?
Yeah, but it'll be curious when they merge everything in what will happen to those exclusive agreements. If you look at Disney historically, those will fall away.
Man,
I
he
see
should
a-
have went exclusive at DC.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
You know
I
what?
see a solicit for issue 11, so I'm guessing there's 12 issues.
Yeah, looking up there, you can go way back and it was 10, but apparently it's been moved to 12.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
DC should have locked him up exclusive. That was stupid on their part.
100%. Makes me so mad.
But you're saying, Percy, there's a chance that exclusive part of the agreement could just fall off and he'll be able to come back to DC anyway.
I mean, you never know, but if you just, I mean, a lot of things about these companies you can predict because they don't suddenly operate differently than they've operated before. And Disney with creatives like this won't typically, freelancers won't honor exclusive agreements. They'll buy them out or kind of shutter them. So maybe it will still hold. That's not any kind of prediction or spoiler. It's just that's how it's been with a lot of the other businesses for the last 30 years. And it feels like it will be the way there too.
And I'm being completely, it's all about me because I want him writing at DC because I think he does better stuff there. I think he gets better stories to work with.
Sure.
No, it's probably better for PKJ to keep working at Marvel, and I'm assuming that he signed the agreement for a reason. But yeah. I would like to see him on DC.
Yeah. Money's good.
All right, Perch, can you do a call-in stream?
A call-in stream?
Remember, you and I had talked about this like 6 or 7 years ago. We had planned on it, but we never did it.
Yeah, we should do that sometime.
We should.
Yeah, then I could call in and I could say, Perch, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the first time we've done a call-in show. So
ooh, it's Sully from Salty on the cell phone. Hey, you guys suck.
He will absolutely get some dicks on that call-in show. But that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, well, I'm out of here. Find me some chicken nuggies, and everybody have a good weekend.
By the way, Mandalorian and Grogu out of the top 5 this weekend.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Leave.
That's terrible.
His doc